ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
Moments ago at Alabama's Bryant-Denny Stadium, a moment of silence to honor the memory of a Mississippi State football player, Sam Westmoreland, who passed away this week. Sam was a true freshman offensive lineman from Tupelo, a walk-on. His 19th birthday would have been yesterday. The family and the authorities in Starkville have not released information regarding Sam Westmoreland's death, but the teammates' tweets are heartfelt and powerful. Cody Swanson tweeting, "Please hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. You never know when someone's going through. And if you're going to go through tough times, please don't be afraid to talk to someone." Jake Weir, Nathan Pickering also echoing those sentiments. Holly Rowe, it's been a difficult, emotional week for this football team, even though many of them didn't know Sam Westmoreland that well. Still a shock for them.
It was a shock on Wednesday when they heard this news, and Mike Leach chose to talk to his teammates about did they even want to practice that day. He made practice optional, and he said if you need to seek some help, please do so. But the players got together and they decided they did want to practice. They thought it might help to be together, and they have 3 full-time sports psychologists on Mississippi State's staff. They made those available to kids who are mourning. Even though he was new to this team, he was friends and teammates with a lot of young men on the team because he played locally at Tupelo. They will be wearing a helmet sticker to honor him tonight. You can see the SW78, and Alabama, of course, with a beautiful moment of silence before the game to honor this young man.
Holly, thank you. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. Mike Leach keeps his emotions pretty much in check, but this has been difficult for him as well.
Yeah, obviously our condolences go out to Sam's family, the entire community, and his football team's going to be playing with heavy hearts tonight for sure.
On the field, the focus is on Alabama because the Tide come off a loss at Tennessee when they gave up 52 points. Mistakes all over the place, very un-Saban-like. Fans want to see if they can get it fixed here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Alabama be in these situations in the past, and they usually recalibrate and get things going. But let's revisit last week one last time. It was really about matchups. It wasn't busting coverage. DeMarco Nellums had a tough time against Jalen Wyatt, but give Josh Heupel and Tennessee credit for moving around their receivers and creating those matchups. Nick Saban sharing with us this week how frustrating it was and how they've got to get better as a defense. So to me tonight, it's not about defending Mississippi State. It's about getting right, starting tonight and going in a different direction.
Bryce Young played beautifully in that loss. The Heisman Trophy winner again, Kirk, suffering from that right shoulder injury. So very little throwing during the week, but he manages the pain beautifully on game day.
Yeah, I spoke with him on the field just a few minutes ago, asked him how he's feeling. He says he feels good. They kind of keep him on a pitch count throughout the week to get him ready. It takes a lot of mental reps to get his mind ready to go out and execute the plan that Nick Saban and Bill O'Brien put together.
Mike Leach and his quarterback Will Rogers face a serious challenge. Leach has not scored a touchdown the last 2 years against Alabama, and time and again State seems to catch the Crimson Tide when they are coming off a loss, and that has been a painful formula. They want to see a win. They want to see this team return to the Alabama standard tonight. The Crimson try to get back on track. The Bulldogs try to spring a big upset here in T-Town. And welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway, in this presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Back down to Holly, who's standing by with Nick Saban.
Coach Saban, you wanted to see a response from your leadership this week. What have you seen that lets you know they're prepared for tonight?
Well, you never know if they're prepared, but we had a good week. I believe in the team. But it's time for us to respond. Respond with your ability, how you run, how you tackle, how you play, how you cover, how hard you play, how tough you play. So those are the key things to us. We got to get back to doing the simple things right.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Focus on the pass defense, as Kirk said, reducing penalties, 17 of them against Tennessee, and it's been a pattern all year long. And there is Will Rogers. They'll get the football first. Kirk Leach always elects to receive when he wins the toss, and so this offense goes right out there against Will Anderson and company.
Yeah, look at Mike Leach there, and he's not going to change no matter where he is and who he's playing against. Win the toss, take the ball. Most people defer. He wants it.
Tulu Griffin is a dangerous return man to receive the boot from Will Reichard. And he'll let it bounce into the end zone. Chick-fil-A impact players tonight when the Bulldogs have the football.
I would put a running back in there, but it's really about the receivers. When Mike Leach talks balance, he talks about the receivers. Rara Thomas, number 0, keep an eye on him. Big, tall receiver. Caleb Ducking 4 also makes plays. Of course, Will Anderson could be the impact player of the nation. 31. Watch him tonight move to the inside and outside because of some injuries. And Brian Branch, because they'll play a lot of dime, meaning 6 defensive backs, he will be all over the place, number 14. Really going to have to try to help get this defensive backfield back on track.
Can they protect Rodgers without their starting center? And Winston Sharp is out tonight with a knee injury. Rodgers on the first play. Throws across the middle, and it's broken up incomplete. Tried to get it to Caleb Ducking. That's Eli Ricks, the transfer from LSU, stepping in tonight as a starting corner.
Well, here we go. Yeah, Alabama fans wanted to see Eli Ricks, the transfer from LSU, in week 1. And Nick Saban said he told us this week he's had to earn his right. And with some changes this week, 7 gets his chance. First play, knocks the ball away.
Second down handoff to Jacavius Marks. You can call him Woody. He is the feature back tonight. Leach will run it, contrary to popular opinion. They get about 5 yards there.
And how about this? You know, Eli Ricks, we're all excited to see him get out there. First play, knocks it away. Second play, Mike Leach challenges. Is this kid willing to come up and run support? And he comes up, gets run over a little bit, but at least there was a willingness to step up there.
And the first third down of the evening. Bulldogs need 4. Alabama has been pretty darn good on third down, but not their usual elite standard. And Leach erects to run it, and Marks is right near the mark, but they're going to spot him short. He loves to go for it on fourth down, but if it is inches short, he doesn't dare here, does he?
Well, he looks like it's one of those nights. He knows what Bryce Young's capable of doing, and even though he's going to quarterback sneak this, everybody knows he is, and it's just a matter of can he get it. No, actually, he gets. I thought he was going to take. They're going to review and take a peek here to see about the spot.
The previous play is under further review.
Scott Walker, the SEC referee tonight, so have a chance to think about it and ponder. If you say it's a no-brainer call, go for it, sneak it.
If you stick to his personality and who he is, let's take a peek here to see if he in fact gets to the 35 before he is brought down. He's right there on the line.
Of course, it's easy when you start after a touchback. It is exactly the front edge of the paint on that 35-yard line. Bill LeMonnier, as always, with us in the booth. Bill, not easy to overturn calls like this, but do you see replay giving him the first down?
Toughest thing is where the ball looks like it's on the line.
Yeah.
But where was the knee?
Right.
So this is going to be a tough one for replay. I've got him down just short.
Well, based on the looks that we have so far, it'd be hard for them to turn it over. And right away, you just start thinking about if, in fact, he is still short. First of all, will Mike Leach kind of live up to his reputation and go for it? And secondly, we just go the simple way, the quarterback sneak. Here's a better look. Wow, it's still tough to see. Is that knee?
It just has to be on the left edge of that line as you look at it
it's
this
the
angle.
Third play of the game, and we're getting in here real tight here. That's how big it. When you play Alabama, every inch counts, even though it's the third play of the game. And what's he going to do?
Well, I mean, you've got a backup center. Stephen Lasoya is stepping in for Sharp, who is the veteran of that offensive line. He's a center who had started 29 games for State. Not able to go, hurt against Kentucky. So you're going to try to sneak it over a backup center.
Right.
After review, the ruling on the field, the ball carrier short of line of game stands.
After all that, what we expected, Bill?
Well, remember, Alabama's banged up as well in the interior. DJ Dale is out. He's a great player in the middle, gets a good push. Jaheim Otis also out. So they're moving some people around. You'll see Byron Young get moved to the inside, a veteran.
Here we go. From his own 34.5-yard line. Leach taking a gamble early in the shotgun. Marks is the back. Not going to be a sneak under center unless they try to just draw him offside here.
So he's going to try maybe fool him here. The center's looking back. Never mind the crowd noise. He just kind of, that was a great look. Just kind of.
Play clock got down to 1. Bama wasn't going to fall for that. They've had a lot of flags this season, but that would have been a bad one.
Yeah. Well, with his reputation, he's liable to go for it inside his own 20. But so he thought maybe he could draw them off, but instead he's going to call the timeout and punt it away.
Kicking has been a little bit of an adventure for Mississippi State. They use a couple different punters, a couple different place kickers. Kool-Aid McKinstry is a very dangerous return man, starting corner for the Crimson Tide. And they'll use Georgopoulos, who's a grad transfer from UMass, 4-year starter with the Minutemen. Kicks it with the point down. McKinstry waves for a fair catch and makes it at the 22-yard line. Here comes Bryce Young. He's a rare player, Kirk. Not everybody could go through a whole week, just take mental reps, throw very little, and go out and play like he did last week and how he expects to tonight.
Yeah, the returning Heisman winner comes in with a ton of pressure, almost unrealistic expectations, and yet when you watch him play, it's like he's taking a Sunday stroll. As calm as anybody you've ever watched play this position with such expectations and the demand that's put on this position when you play at Alabama, where you have to win every game and complete every pass.
Jahmyr Gibbs has been a special player the last 4 games. The transfer from Georgia Tech is the tailback. And they give him the first carry. State swarms from that 3-3-5 defense. They've got him behind the line. 2-yard loss.
Well, Jet Johnson was flying downhill in a hurry there. Let our Chick-fil-A impact players. Chris just talked about Gibbs. He's been a great story, the transfer from Georgia Tech. I just got a feeling they got a group of receivers. I think Isaiah Bond's about to have a chance. Keep an eye on 17. Watson, the linebacker, makes a lot of plays. Then Forbes, the corner, 5 interceptions on the year. They're going to test him tonight.
On 2nd and 12, Young has plenty of time and just checks it down. And Gibbs, who's an excellent receiver, did a lot of that in Atlanta and is a big part of the offense. Hasn't broken a long one, but they check it down to him frequently.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that they're going to try to do with Zach Arnett, the defensive coordinator. This defense has a reputation with that 3-3-5 to be aggressive and come after you, but they understand what they're up against. Gibbs walking over, maybe going to get checked out. But they rushed 3 that time, dropped 8, and forced the check down, taking away those deeper throws. There's a good look at Arnett right there, getting the defense called.
Wardell Williams in spelling Gibbs on this play. It's 3rd and 5.
They're showing pressure now.
They bring it. But it's picked up. Initially, Young now checks it down. Inaccurate throw. That was Wardell Williams out of the backfield, and the Tide go 3 and out in their opening possession.
They end up bringing the linebackers right here and around here on the outside. It's picked up for the most part, but look downfield. Try to find an open receiver. Nobody, so he checks it down, and that's on Bryce. As good as he is, he's got to take the time to obviously get settled there and make an accurate throw to give yourself a chance to convert.
You know, I see James Burnett punts it as a flag down as they snapped it. It bounces. And getting out of the way is Xavier Thomas.
They had too many men in the backfield. Remember, that's the last thing he wants to see.
Last thing the crowd wants to see. We asked him, Kirk, yesterday about the penalties, and rarely do you hear Nick Saban say, I don't know. When you ask him, how do you solve this? What do you do? He's threatened guys' job security. Right. It's been a season-long pattern.
You want to light a fuse? Have too many men lined up in the backfield in the first punt.
Illegal formation, kicking team. More than 4 players in offensive backfield. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That does not amount to a super costly penalty.
Well, here's your 3, and then you got a punter back here 4, and then right here is your 5th.
It's off the line of scrimmage.
Yep. It's just a mental error. I mean, you go through that every day since spring ball on punt coverage. Just not like Alabama with the penalties that have stacked up. I mean, obviously, this is more about getting a team locked in off of a loss that frustrates you more than anything. Not the 5 yards.
3 and out, and the penalty on the punt is not what Nick would have drawn up. Burnip boots it high. It's a good one. Drives Thomas back inside the 30, and he makes the fair catch right along the sideline there at the 27. 50-yard punt. So Will Rogers and the Bulldogs offense back to work. Second possession coming up. The home team spotlight presented by Verbo Vacation Homes. Tide trying to avoid back-to-back losses for the first time since 13 when they lost the Iron Bowl, then the Sugar Bowl to Alabama. Back-to-back regular season losses back to Saban's first year in 07. 182 games since they've lost back-to-back regular season games.
Just don't see it, obviously.
Marks has a little crease. And Woody Marks picks up about 3 on first down. Dallas Turner and DeMarco Helms combining on the stop.
And Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator, Nick Saban, against his air raid with 3 receivers and on the right, 1 receiver to the left. You don't have a tight end, just 5 linemen there. You only have 5 in the box, so you're going to see Mississippi State have to be able to run the football inside that tight area.
There's the 4th running play in the first 5. They pitch it on the edge, and Marks dives again near the marker, but it's enough for a first down.
Yeah, so again, finishing that thought, Pete Golding decided, hey, like we always do, we're going to play a lot of dime. Meaning we're going to have we're going to have 6 defensive backs on the field. And Mike Leach is used to seeing that. And one of the ways he tries to get defenses out of having all that speed all over the field spread out is you have to make them pay for it in the box by running the football.
There's another run. And this time Marks is hit. Quick penetration. Henry toe-to-toe with the tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
And toe-to-toe, when you have that light box, you have to count on your linebackers to be able to get penetration and win. You know, you're basically saying defensive linemen, hold up those D linemen. Let's let our linebackers get downhill in a hurry.
Only 1 pass attempt so far for Will Rogers. He's thrown 23 touchdowns this year against just 4 picks. Has good protection. Finds a man across the middle to the midfield, and that's Tulu Griffin. And second first down right at the 50.
Yeah, mesh route underneath, and it's zone coverage. Usually you run a mesh man-to-man. They'll kind of create a pick for one another. That time they just settled in the soft spot in the zone, and he sees him easily for the first down.
Playing with some tempo here. Another quick throw. That's typical, right? The receivers and the quarterback need to be on the same page in this offense, right? And adjust.
We've been all watching Mike Leach's air raid offense for so many years. And the thing I always marvel at is he doesn't have a lot of plays. You can maybe pull out and see his play sheet there. I mean, look at his play sheet and compare that to what you see from other play sheets around the country. It's just a little card. He's got a few plays, but the amount of route adjustments on these receivers, depending on the leverage of the defense, that dictates what the routes are.
Simeon Price is the ball carrier, running hard. He's got an opportunity tonight. Dylan Johnson, their multi-purpose back, did not make the trip. He's out, so we'll see more of Price.
And he's capable, very capable, good SEC back, has some quickness, has some power.
Now Leach, if he doesn't get this first third, we'll go for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a handoff, and Price barrels for a first down as Leach features the running game here in the first quarter.
Again, you got 5-on-5 in this area right here. You've got to be able to win with an offensive line that you have confidence in. Get the center up to that linebacker was the key block that time. And they open it up, and they're going to make Alabama and those safeties start to creep down, and that's when you can maybe start to take some more shots in a pass game.
Football team that built some buzz by beating Texas A&M, a team that Bama barely held on to beat, and Arkansas. They just ran right through the Razorbacks, who tried to defend it with 5 or 6.
I think that's when they started to get a lot of people's attention. And let's face it, Will Rogers in this system has been outstanding in his 3rd year running the offense, understands it incredibly well, has answers, knows where to go with the football because of how quickly he makes decisions.
Marks in the slot, empty backfield. Rogers pressured and finds a man, and that's his roommate, Austin Williams, the 6th-year senior. Great chemistry between those guys.
You're going to work across. It puts a lot of pressure on the linebacker. Remember, they've been running the ball. Now all of a sudden, you got to match up underneath. And look at that separation against Toto. Really nice job. And I loved how Rodgers just kind of baited that pressure to him and then just led his receiver for the first down.
Comes pressure off the edge. Hit as he throws, and he went into traffic. And Kool-Aid McKinstry comes up with the pick. The first time they really got after Rodgers and affected the throw, it was Brian Branch.
They blitzed him, like you said, Chris. They dial it up. Branch makes Rodgers get it out. The first time we've seen him throw it where it's not accurate, and they're definitely going to take a peek at that one right there.
Yeah, there's no way he collected that before it hit the ground. Bill Lamagna is over there waving his hand, but you did see the nose of the football hit the ground.
Interception by the defense. The previous play is under further review.
He sold it pretty well, though. He came up and said, I got it.
Official. They'll look at it. We'll step aside while they do.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Subway. Try the all-new Subway Series menu. Your pick of 12 irresistible subs. And in part by Wolf & Shepherd. Join the pack at wolfandshepherd.com.
They do homecoming well here at Tuscaloosa. Very festive weekend. But the crowd will not like the fact that this ruling of interception by Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be wiped away. Pretty easy review as the nose of the football hits the ground.
Yeah. Good job, like I said, of selling it. Coach Saban came over and asked, hey, Kool-Aid, hey, man, you catch that? No.
Can't lie to you, Coach.
No, Coach, I didn't get that.
So 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs, still threatening here, just outside the red zone. Rodgers throwing downfield, tried to create a jump ball. That was McKinstry in coverage there against Tulu Griffin. 3rd and 10.
You know, those deep throws like that, you can underthrow that, make him come back to the ball. I don't think McKinstry ever found the football. He could have easily gotten a pass interference on him. They go right back to him and challenge him. It's the 12th play of this drive. I mean, Mike Leach has got to like this methodical drive, keeping Bryce Young on the sideline.
Brad on their feet, waving pom-poms, making noise. Ty brings some pressure, and Leach is going to run it again with Marks. This is kind of what you do when you go for it on 4th down a lot. It'll be 4th and 3 here.
Yeah, he sensed that they're going to bring pressure. Remember, you've got Will Anderson and Dallas Turner who can dial it up. They also brought To'o, so he runs the football knowing that in his mind, this is 4-down territory. And he gives them a much better chance now at 4th and 3. Look at that sheet.
Yeah, 4th and 3, you can get the ball out fast, right? And have a decent chance of
you better
converting.
Give you an idea where Will Anderson is. He's to the right of Will Rodgers.
Tries to get it quickly. It's incomplete. Delivering the hit was DeMarco Helms, who had an awfully tough time against the Volunteers last week. Makes a big play, and the Tide get a stop.
And that's DeMarco Helms' game. Watch how quickly he drives on the ball. He's had a rough week after what happened against Tennessee. Anticipates that quick slant. That's great preparation by Nick Saban and Pete Golding and DeMarco Helms to come up with that 4th and short. The slant's going to come, and you're going to separate the receiver from the football. Did his job perfectly.
Fourth down stop for Bama's defense. They take over at the 15. Jace McClellan is the back. Give you an update on Jahmyr Gibbs' status momentarily here. Couple tight ends off to the right side. They're going to roll Young that way, and he flips it down, and that is McClellan out of the backfield. Nice play design, and it picks up 11 and a first down. Holly.
Well, guys, Jahmyr Gibbs, who is everything for this offense, leads them in all-purpose yards, was banged up in their last offensive series. You see him after this play. Nice juke there, but after this, he went into the injury tent where I saw people take in extra padding and extra tape. We believe from a gesture we saw from a trainer that it is his shoulder. You saw him go down very hard on that. I'm told he can return.
In the meantime, McClellan's got the handoff and a couple yards up the left side. Yeah, he leads the SEC in all-purpose yards. Gibbs has been a sensation, really, in the last 3-4 games.
He has. I think, when you take Jamison Williams off this offense and John Mechie from last year, they're not as electric on the outside. And with Gibbs coming in, he's become that guy, the game changer and the difference maker so far the first half of the season for the Tide.
And more than 7 yards per carry. It's a big change from the running game a year ago when Brian Robinson was a workhorse, but not real explosive. Young runs up in the pocket and flings it downfield and has a man wide open, and it's Ja'Cory Brooks who's got it deep in state territory.
This is fantastic to watch with Brooks. He's right here, and I want you to watch him the entire time. And this is what a threat is with a quarterback looking left and then stepping up to the right. He's a threat to run. Watch the adjustment by the receiver downfield. We'll get back to it right after this.
40-yard gain, going quickly. It's JoJo Earl who bobbles it, collects it for a short gain.
Yeah, real quick, you just see Brooks have to change his direction like an outfielder. He goes to the right. That's just improvising. And that's what, of course, Bryce Young brings. There's the threat that he might run. Eyes get mistaken. They start to look back. What's happening? And then the receiver separates when he's in man-to-man coverage.
Gibbs back in the game, set far to the left of the formation.
Good to see him back.
Second down play against a 3-man rush. Young is going to roll away from the pressure. It catches up to him. He just flings it downfield and out of bounds, and Young knocked down after the throw.
You're only rushing 3. You drop an 8. The big question is, can you contain Bryce Young? Can you force him to throw the ball? And that time they were able to, with a good job eventually. Good coverage downfield, and eventually that 3-man rush gets to him and forces that throw.
Every hit that Bryce Young takes, you kind of hold your breath.
Oh, yeah. See if they dial up pressure here on this third down or continue with that rushing 3 and drop an 8.
So 3rd and 10, they crowd the line. And then they drop. Just a 3-man rush all day for Young is directing traffic, extending, looking, pointing deep, and delivers a shot to the end zone. Touchdown, JoJo Earl. And the magic of Bryce Young to wait for someone to get open and then throw a dart.
That's the risk. There's the smile, the Steph Curry smile that Bryce Young has. That's the risk you take when you rush 3 and you drop 8. You can only cover for so long until Bryce Young, maybe compare me into a Patrick Mahomes, is eventually going to find a guy that's open. Give credit to the offensive line, by the way, not going downfield, and give a lot of credit to the receivers for just trying to get separation, pulling away from those defenders.
JoJo Earl, a guy who's battled through injuries the first half of the season, just his 3rd catch, but his 2nd touchdown of the Tide strike first.
Well, here you have it. They show pressure. They end up bailing. Rushing 3. Look at the coverage. Great coverage, but can they last? I mean, it's like you're playing backyard football. 7 Mississippis, 8 Mississippis, 9 Mississippis. Here it is back here. Pretty good coverage. All he does is look one time into the backfield. What's happening? And he loses JoJo Earl. See him pointing. Say, go that way. Go away from him. Great communication. I'd love to get a stopwatch, honestly. What do you think, 10 Mississippis?
10 Mississippi State? I mean, he did that a lot against the Volunteers. And nobody in the sport really does that better than he does in terms of just so calmly moving around.
Yeah.
Right? There's no frantic. It's not Johnny Manziel. It's not twitchy.
No.
It's just fluid and calm.
No. If his mind is as smooth internally as his body and his facial expressions, the game is in slow motion.
You know what else is evident from that replay? It's no fun to be one of the 3 in a 3-man rush. Those dudes are getting blocked from all directions for 10 seconds, right? Tula Griffin with a nice return out across the 35. To Matt Berry for a studio update. Hey, Matt.
Gentlemen, good evening. Good talking ball with you on a Saturday in prime time. I want to update you what's going on in Stillwater. Here's Spencer Sanders to Bryson Green of the completion. Absolutely horrible tackling by Texas. That would end up being the difference. The Pokes have just picked off Quinn Ewers. It just happened moments ago. In fact, we have it here. 4th and 8 for Texas. Trying to get the ball off. Ewers is going to get intercepted. And Oklahoma State up 41-34 with just a minute and a half left in the game.
Be a big bounce back off the double OT loss to TCU. A wild one in Stillwater, not for the first time. So can the Bulldogs respond? Rogers told me this week he knows that a fast start is essential, Kirk. You don't beat Alabama unless you start fast, and it's why it's so important they came up empty in that last possession.
And it's disheartening, right, for Mike Leach and this team, for his offense, when your defense is playing pretty good, and then Bryce Young does what Bryce Young can do. You know, it just takes the wind out of your sails, and now you got to start all over after that. They had a 12-play drive the last time they had the ball.
Another run to Marks, already more rushing yards in this first quarter than they had the entire game against Kentucky last week.
Well, they seal that edge with Johnson, the left tackle, and they're going to say, hey, if you're going to give us the run, coach, we're going to have to take it. Right?
Well, that's bad news there as Marks,
you see his left ankle
helmet off,
heavily wrapped coming into this game. I noticed it on the field, the left ankle. I don't know if that's what took him off the field or not, but he did not come in at 100% tonight.
So Simeon Price on this 3rd and 4. And he's got the football, and he's got a first down and more. So Leach going against his tendencies, but taking what the defense gives him. They're in Bama territory.
Watch the right side use this combination, because Alabama, Will Anderson goes inside, and they communicate that perfectly. I mean, that was really well done on the right side to open that up.
And Rogers looking to throw and first down. He's got a man short, and Alabama does such a good job at tackling in space, limiting yards after contact against this offense.
They sure do. I don't know how he got that around Brian Branch on the blitz that time. Branch came in. You know, they're trying to do different looks, playing pretty conservative. Maybe a few twists. That time they brought Branch, but Rogers got the ball around him.
That's why I reacted. That was a dangerous throw. Yeah. He got it out of there. Now they flip it underneath. And that's Will Anderson making the tackle on Price short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about a yard and a half.
And we have an ISO camera like every crew that comes in here on 31, and sometimes you just don't even want to talk. You just want to let his actions just speak for him. There's Marks checking out. It's like his top of nose, maybe his nose, yeah. Another 3rd down. Already a bunch in this game. This is the 5th one.
Price again, and this time Alabama all over the running back. They knock him down the line. Toa combining with Dallas Turner. 4th down again.
On the left side, this time it's right here. Turner, watch him just drive Jones right into the backfield. Look at that. That's a man. That's, you know, no one talks about Dallas Turner because everybody wants to talk about Will Anderson. If Turner's on any other team in the SEC, he's the guy. And that time, he's not just a pass rusher. Shows you he throws a big tackle right into the backfield, into the running back.
Now Leach has run on all 5 3rd down plays so far. They actually lost yardage there. A full 2 yards needed. Play clock at 4. Got to hurry. Just get it off, and it's an option look. Rogers, not known as a runner, but he keeps it. Byron Young's got him, but it's a first down.
Watch Jordan Battle. He doesn't think that the quarterback's going to keep it. You'll see 9 come in. Once he comes in, he doesn't respect or fear the threat at all. He's right here. He goes straight to the back. And that's what allows him to get around Young and eventually pick up that first down. If Battle came downhill and turned right towards the quarterback, it at least would have forced him to deal it. But he did not expect Rogers on 4th down to hold that ball.
State continues to control the football, dominate time of possession. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Pressure off the edge. They get it out. And the catch is made by Rara Thomas, who's spun down after a 9-yard gain.
You blitz, you better be careful against Mike Leach. He will get the ball out in a hurry and give these receivers a convoy out in front. It's a good answer to Bama, and Pete Golding starting to dial up a few more pressures.
Wonder, is it possible to be patient against Alabama? Can you beat them without some big explosive plays? So far, the Bulldogs have moved the football, but still trail after one, 7-0 in Tuscaloosa. You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime. Set for the second quarter, ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Subway. This presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Well, of course, it's the ground and pound offense of Mississippi State and Mike Leach trying to level this game. Rush yards in the first quarter, Kirk, 57-1. Bama ran 9 plays in the quarter and ran it twice. Using a lot of the play clock here, and Rodgers looking to throw. Back shoulder throw, and that's Robert Thomas coming back, and it's out of bounds. He did not get the feet in, says the officials. McKinstry in coverage.
Boy, it could not have been thrown any better by Will Rogers on that back shoulder. Great timing by Thomas. And then the right toe before the left foot came down, the right foot steps out of bounds.
That close to a first down
and big yards.
Third one, yeah.
Love that throw. That's a great matchup.
Said they'd come back to that again.
Yeah, into the boundary. Thomas is going to have to win against McKinstry tonight if Mississippi State's going to stay in this game.
To throw for it this time on third down, and it's incomplete. It was a bullet to Thomas. Again, McKinstry in coverage, and it's fourth down yet again.
And this is how close they came to that big play. A little push, and that right foot, if he would have been able to keep that in the air, get that left foot down first, that's how close. I mean, you're talking just inches there, and then they miss on third down, so here we go again.
Marks is back in the ballgame. Trainers were dealing with a nose issue. Holly can fill us in, but this is a big moment in this game.
Packed it up.
Gauze there.
Remember, they ran the quarterback on the option the last time. You get 5 guys in this area right here.
Marks, bloody nose and all, just barrels forward, lowers the head to first down at the 24. Holly, what have you got?
Well, guys, he had about 4 athletic trainers circling around him, and you see him coming out right now really in pain as he's taking his helmet off. He has a possible broken nose. They were trying to really reset it and pack it with gauze right across the bridge of his nose as you see that hand go in there. He was having some vision issues. They put some drops in his eyes. He did say that he can see, but you see him right now in quite a bit of pain as he comes right back out after getting that big first down.
And Holly, that he runs like he ran on that fourth down play where he lowers his shoulder and takes another hit.
Rodgers looking for the end zone, lobs it down to Robinson, overshot him.
Talk about a tough guy that Holly's talking about. This is fourth down. He knows he's got to lower the shoulder. He's got his nose packed. He probably can't see very well, and that's a kid with a lot of guts right there. Picks up the first down and then needs help walk off the field to go back into the tent.
Dallas Turner came close to grabbing a face mask there.
See how they keep Thomas isolated so often on the left here. Mike Leach's offense, the old days, Michael Crabtree played that spot.
Second down run, and he's swallowed up, probably smothered at the line of scrimmage by Will Anderson.
A lot of slanting and angling.
Mike Leach did not enjoy that play. You can tell the reaction.
Now this is what it's tearing up that offensive line on these kind of plays. Instead of head up, they're shooting gaps. Brought Branch off the edge. Will Anderson, Tim Smith just slanting into a gap and able to get penetration.
All right, Coach, you got 2 plays to get 11 yards here if the pattern falls.
I go back up here. Careful of this safety.
Rodgers looking to the right and tries to squeeze the ball in the coverage, but Brian Branch got a hand up. Now it's 4th and long.
Yeah, I think Branch is the closest thing that this defense has to having that elite defensive back that can do a lot of different things. That is great job. His eyes came back. Watch him right here recognize and get his head turned, and it allowed him to put himself in position to make that play.
So a field goal try. Those are rare for State. Massimo Biscardi, transfer from Coastal Carolina from 44 yards. He's made the only attempt this season that he's tried. One of 2 kickers on this team. Tries to get the Bulldogs on the board here. And it is just going to doink off that left upright. It was fading. You wondered, could it hold on?
Jeez.
And they come up empty again.
I mean, this game could not have gone any better for Mike Leach as far as keeping Alabama on the sideline, possessing the ball. That was a 15-play drive, and they come away empty-handed on both drives.
Body language. 7-zip, Saban still up. So 2 impressive marches by the Bulldogs, but a 4th down stop and a doink field goal. And Young gets football back up by 7. 2 backs in the backfield. Gibbs joined by Williams. And you fake it to Gibbs, flip it in the flat to Williams, who's knocked down after a short gain.
They didn't have a lot of plays. We were kind of kidding about rush 3, drop 8. And you have 1 Mississippi's backyard football. Look at the line getting pulverized. The D-line, 7 Mississippi's, 8 Mississippi's, 9 Mississippi's. We guessed 10, 10.5 until JoJo Earl got separation and pulled away. But that's the risk, again, that you take against 9 if you don't bring pressure.
Bookie Watson's a middle linebacker out there trying to chase a receiver down in the end zone for 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's hard.
Come on. Earl, he looked that way, and Young's going to fire back to the right side and check it down to Ja'Cory Brooks, who makes the catch out near midfield. First down.
And this is how comfortable he is in full field progression. Look at his eyes, left. He's going to work left. Does he like it? Comes back to the right, has plenty of time, great protection, finds his 3rd or 4th option eventually to Ja'Cory Brooks.
Race again, last time. 3-man rush again. Young just fires it into the turf. That time, good coverage, but a couple of flags in the secondary come in very late. And another flag where the quarterback threw it.
Yep.
3 on the field.
You know, they'll get definitely the quarterback, roughing the quarterback late.
Jordan Davis was the guy.
After he
frustrating, right? You're chasing him down forever. Eventually you get there, you want to hit him, but it's too late. Looks like there was a pretty obvious foul in the secondary as well. Could be 2 penalties on State.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding. Defense, number 13. That penalty is declined. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Roughing the passer has been an issue all around college football. They're calling it tighter, but not in the SEC. Boy, Young got roughed up a couple of times by Tennessee. You wonder if this is a reaction. That was not very much.
No, it's just all that is how late the ball is thrown. He could have let up.
But come on.
Now, I'm with you, man.
I mean, he got hammered.
What do you want me to tell you, Billy?
Hammered.
It's the world we live in today.
A couple of times.
Oh, my God.
Somehow there were no flags.
How about that? I mean, that's a makeup call for Knoxville right there.
That's what I feel like.
Poor Mike Leach.
Gibbs.
Get another flag.
Another penalty flag comes in as he muscles for about 7. You cover the NFL obviously on Thursday nights. It's a huge deal there. They've been some very controversial calls of roughing the passer, protecting the quarterbacks. They're trying to do more of that in college, and you agree with it, but you see calls like that and you go, oh my goodness.
Offside. Defense, number 15, in the neutral zone to the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, he's the right defensive end that they call lined up Jack Harris in the neutral zone. You can see that Zach Arnett did not care for that call.
I don't blame him.
As if Bryce Young needs help. You know, I mean, you're doing a pretty good job, other than the one explosive play, of trying to contain their potential, right? And you can only do that so long. You throw in a few penalties, and now they're down inside the 35-yard line. Run 11 plays, Bama.
Leach's offense has done a lot of good things, run the ball well.
Game clock operator, please place 12 minutes and 2 seconds on the game clock.
Beats quarterback Will Rogers is 6 of 15 for 47 yards, but if you told him, hey, you're going to have 2 early scoring opportunities deep in Bama territory, he would have taken that, but unable to cash in.
You're going to get that, and then potentially you go down 14 after having a chance to maybe punch those in or at least get field goals and
get this thing settled. We're finally going to. It's 12:02, which is what Scott Walker has asked for.
Get to the bottom of this.
There we go. And the crowd goes wild. So here's a 1st and 5. Gibbs -2 in his 1 carry so far tonight. Figured he could have a big night against this run defense, but looking to throw and taking a huge hit, and there comes a flag. That was Jackie Matthews laying the lumber on Isaiah Bond, the true freshman. This will definitely be looked at for targeting.
Yeah, he's going to get thrown out of the game for this. I don't even know if you need to use the replay. That was so obvious.
Full speed collision here too.
It's almost like that's going to be one that Steve Shaw and Bill, they're going to keep that one for the offseason when they're trying to send out what targeting is and
check every box.
What not to do. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Everybody wants to know. I mean, he used his helmet. He actually aimed to try to hit the receiver,
who is defenseless because the ball is getting there right at that split second, and he launched. So Bill, that's going on the tape, I would assume.
It will be, and that is a targeting call, no question about it. There's another aspect to look here, because that hit, when he hit the ground, he lost the ball. So if it's a catch, you're going to tack it on, but if it's an incomplete pass, it's going to be
they ruled it incomplete.
Previous spot. Yeah. All right, incomplete would be the correct call.
Well, he had it until he went to the ground. Even after he took the hit, he held on to the ball, but then he hit the ground, knocks the ball out.
So replay could look at that, even though it was ruled incomplete.
They could, but that's an immediate hit. He hasn't had it long enough to call possession.
Yeah.
So the right call is incomplete, and the right call is targeting.
To me, he had it, though.
Until he got to the ground. Didn't complete the process of the catch, Bill.
That's correct.
Huh?
And he hasn't done a football move.
Didn't do a football move.
Gosh, I hate that phrase. I'll be honest with you.
Process of the catch.
But targeting, man, and that is, I know it's a rule that some fans out there just can't stomach.
After review, the ruling on the field of targeting is confirmed. Number 8 is disqualified.
The Jackie Matthews starting safety will sit out. And Isaiah Bond being looked at by the athletic trainers in the tents after that hit. They'll obviously
got up
to check him out.
Yeah, just to make sure he's good. But he did get up pretty quickly, and just a precautionary measure. I'm sure take a good look at him. He's really a young true freshman out of Buford High School in Georgia with a bright future. They think he could be one of their next superstars.
So the hat trick for the Bulldogs. Penalties on the last 3 plays. Roughing the passer, which was a shaky call. The offsides, and then that targeting. Tied back in the red zone here. Gibbs navigates through traffic in the line of scrimmage and rolls into the end zone. Hadn't done anything all night until that one. Spent some time in the tent. Now he's in the end zone.
Ekiyor, 55 with a kick-out block. Watch the center here as well. Down court, just great execution. They're bringing pressure. They're bringing linebackers, and they're all picked up. Hat on a hat made it very easy for Jahmyr Gibbs to walk into the end zone.
With Ekiyor and J.C. Latham, the right side of that offensive line, have done a great job this year. They're great pass protectors. That time opened up a big crease, and you said deflating. Sage played well. Their offense has moved the ball, but they are down 2 scores here in Tuscaloosa. The transfer from Georgia Tech finds the end zone.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway, is brought to you by DirecTV. Get your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. That means all the entertainment you love in one place. Get your TV together with DirecTV.
Homecoming queen is Ellery Hill. Came down from Michigan to go to school here, a senior. Great visit with the legend Joe Namath on the field before the game. He said he comes back to one game a year. He picked this one tonight. Remember him on College Game Day with the fur coat, making picks with LC.
That was classic.
It was. Joe is so impressed with Bryce Young and talking about him and what he expected from his future, and making the same points you make, his smoothness. But also, you notice he bulked up about 15 pounds.
Yeah, he sure has.
Tulu Griffin fighting for yardage, knocked down near the 20. Back to Matt Berry.
All right, guys, want to keep you updated on Texas A&M and South Carolina for the SEC offense. This was Texas A&M's first play from scrimmage since coming out of the bye week. They gave up a 100-yard touchdown return to Xavier Legette to open up the game. Gamecocks up early 7-0. And then after an interception, they got a field goal, and then Christian Beal-Smith punches it in. 17-3. Willie Bryce is loud right now.
Oh, Shane Beamer.
Oh.
Huh?
The Beamer ball there with the special teams play.
Wait, this guy. He's back. His back.
So got gauze in the nose. And it's an underneath throw to Jaden Wally. In a freshman All-American season. A quiet year last year. He's one of the inside receivers.
Pretty good numbers there if you're an Alabama fan.
Yeah, the last
so I think we're going
to
learn about the moxie here and the mental toughness of Mississippi State. Disappointing game last week against Kentucky. Came in tonight, had a great plan, just not able to finish off drives, and now you find yourself down 14. How do you respond to that?
Bryce takes the toss and cuts it back and plows forward. He's near the marker at the 30. They'll spot him just short.
Nice job of just utilizing that offensive line and getting north and south. Almost came up with a first down. I thought he may have picked it up, but just about half a yard, not even half a yard short. Seems like Mississippi State's been in that area a lot tonight.
Yeah, already the 8th third down play. They're only 2 for 7. Rodgers, will they go up under center and need about the length of the football? Now he's back in the gun. Looking to throw for it, and it's a slant, incomplete. Try to get it to Caleb Ducking, Eli Ricks in coverage, and they have contested just about everything tonight.
Yeah, when they've tested Eli Ricks on those slants, his long arms are able to get around the receiver to knock the ball away. I mean, anytime you see it's 3rd and 6 inches and you throw it, you know you're going to end up going for it on 4th down. But I know it's the world we live in some of these offenses. It just it is a little crazy on 3rd and a couple inches. Now you find yourself with a 4th down.
Yeah, Pirate, if he snaps it, he'll rolling the dice from his own 30, down 2 scores already.
You just think he would sneak that there, but
they're going to snap it, looking to throw for it again, and it's incomplete again. Ty get a 4th down stop. Brian Branch got there, got a piece of the ball. Looked like Battle was in coverage.
But yeah, they anticipated obviously a quick throw. They blitz it, which is a great call by Pete Golding. 14 right there. Branch gets a hand on it. Look at the ball. And even if it doesn't get knocked down, because how quickly Battle was coming up, I don't know if that ball is going to be able to be converted anyway. So 3rd and a few inches at your own 30, you throw it, and then 4th down and a few inches, you throw it again. And now you give the ball right back to Bryce Young with a short field.
Yes, you do. Figure to be down 3 scores very soon.
They're running the ball pretty well, too.
Here comes the blitz. It's picked up. Young has time and fits the man in stride. Krayshawn Holden who makes the catch down inside the 15.
And give this offensive line a lot of credit. We're going to talk about Bryce all night, but I always love to talk when a quarterback has that much time on a deep crosser to give credit to the line, giving him all the time he needed for Holden to get separation.
And totes the rock for no gain. Yeah, just going back to the calls. Your point's a good one. He must have felt like there's a better chance to complete a slant than to gain a foot on a running play.
But they've been running the football all night.
I agree.
Into that front.
You deal with those slants. Yeah, it's in theory easy pitch and catch, but with the athleticism, the length of these Alabama defenders. Young has time, checks it down. Williams takes a big hit, paid the price there. Emmanuel Forbes, top DB on this team, delivered the hit. Third down.
They continue to rush 3 in this red zone and drop 8. Occasionally they'll throw a wrinkle and bring an extra guy, but for the most part they're just hoping that eventually those 3 will be able to get pressure. This time they're bringing maybe 4, maybe. It just looks like they're going to rush 4. Now they're bringing a backer now. Showing pressure over here. That's why you see him making an adjustment. Look back to the sideline. And they're still coming.
Offensive line doing a lot of pointing here. Play clock's winding down to 4. Bryce rolls, extends, and flips it into the end zone for a touchdown. Trayshawn Holden playing a part in that drive, and the Tide with a very short field go up 3 scores.
You know, when you have a guy like Bryce Young, I'm guessing that Holden and these receivers, they work as much on just getting separation on a scramble drill is probably as much as they work on throwing the ball on time. Watch this. The quarterback's going to take off. Watch the reaction right here from Holden. Boom, foot in the ground, separate, easy throw for Bryce Young.
Foot in the ground, and he, as they say, broke the ankle of the defender who just fell down on the ground there with a change of direction.
That's a tough ask for a defensive back. Obviously, with that kind of time, quarterback buys it, he improvises, he breaks contain, and now you're in no man's land as a DB.
21-zip here in T-Town.
Matt Barron at College Football Studio. I want to give you an update on what's going on around the country. We've got whiteout conditions in Minnesota. Penn State rode the boat up 3-0 about in that one. SEC Network, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. No points early on. UCF, East Carolina on the U, gentlemen.
Alabama gave up some yards, but no points in the first 2 long marches by Mississippi State. 4th down stop, missed field goal, then Leach goes for it deep in his own territory, and Bryce says thank you very much. Well, Rodgers had a tough game in Lexington, and Leach said the entire offense and his quarterback were frantic. So he wondered how would they handle a much better defense in a very tough environment on the road tonight.
Well, and again, when we just said they were down 14, and they could have been up after possessing the ball as much as they did, and they weren't able to finish those drives down 14. How do they respond? And they end up going for it on 3rd and inches and 4th and inches and give the ball at the 30-yard line to Bryce Young. Now they're down 21.
Rodgers and a bobbling incomplete. He just has had no success when he's looked from 10 yards beyond the line of scrimmage tonight. They have not been able to push the ball at all.
That's why you always see receiver coaches and offensive coaches saying, fight, finish the play. Robinson, you've got to catch, finish the play. Now give Eli Ricks a lot of credit. He's had a heck of a night, by the way. He did not quit on the play. He did finish the play and eventually knocked it away.
Started 5 games at LSU. A lot of hype accompanying his transfer to Alabama. High expectations here.
All-star offense, number 6. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And he's in because Terry and Arnold struggled a lot against Tennessee, so he gets the starting role tonight, and he's looking like a guy who's a pretty darn good SEC corner.
Yeah, he wants a chance to get out there. You see the near receiver there, Calvin, just confused. Eventually they call that. But yeah, it's good to see Ricks get his chance and take advantage of it. And Arnold, who's got a great upside, is the guy he replaces.
So behind the 6, they look to Thomas on a slant, and it'll be 3rd down yet again.
And remember, this is an offense that until they got down by 14 and 21, it was really a mixed bag. They were running the football a lot. Then you get down 21. Then you have penalties. Then you get behind the sticks. And then you become one-dimensional. And then you put Alabama's defense in a very different mindset of what they are defending from where they were early in this game.
Rodgers pressured, running away from the pursuit there and throws it low. Will Anderson got after him and knocked him down. It's 4th down.
They dial it up here, little twist game up front. Who else? Of course, Will Anderson gets him out of that pocket. And when he's chasing you and you're a quarterback, you just know it's a matter of time until he gets to you with a sack, and you better get rid of that football.
See the strength in his arm? He grabbed a jersey and he just pulled down a quarterback who's 215 with one hand.
That's the thing, and Todd McShay, who's with us tonight and studies all these guys, his hand strength and how heavy they are, that's what the NFL, when they look at his body, they're going to be shocked by how strong he is, especially in that line of scrimmage.
Archer Trafford on to punt, and he booms a great one. McKinstry retreats, doesn't catch it, and it'll bounce dead way back at the 12-yard line. 7:20 here in beautiful downtown Tuscaloosa. 60-yard punt.
Well, you look at Bryce Young, and I used a comparison to Steph Curry because of how cool he is, but also his game. How he's able to kind of generate, I think, an awareness that reminds me of Steph Curry. He's able to distribute, he's able to score, and then it's the confidence, the little walk-off there. I mean, that's Bryce Young. The personality, the way he leads his team for Golden State and the way Bryce leads his team for Alabama. They just look like the same guy. I know it's different sports, but it reminds me so much of Steph Curry.
Bryce would love that comparison.
It's his idol.
Yeah.
It's his guy.
Gibbs. Here's part 2.
Yeah, it may be that kind of night, so we're going to give you another look. This is where, okay, they're covered. You got 2 guys.
Love this part.
Takes off, no problem. Just dish it.
The no look.
Look at the walk-off. Little walk-off. He knows. And how many times have you seen Steph Curry do that, right? The eyes, that sixth sense, finds the open man.
The look away was sweet.
It was beautiful. And most importantly, the eyes and the personality and how calm and cool they are when the stage is his biggest.
Ooh, huge hit delivered on Gibbs. He bobbled it, spun, and paid the price. And it was Jalen Green laying the wood. 3rd down now.
Well, that was a huge hit. You know, we saw Matthews get kicked out when he lowered his helmet. And this time we see looks like a clean hit from the views that we've seen so far.
Didn't use the top of the helmet. Kind of came in, planted his feet, and delivered a shot.
I'm going to take a peek.
Replay has initiated a review for potential targeting.
Seems like any big hit is going to get reviewed. You know, they stop them all. One we saw as a clear target. We thought it was targeting at the very beginning.
Jackie Matthews has been tossed out of the game for his targeting earlier.
That's a tough view of it right there.
Mitchell Wilkins is the man in charge of the replay.
This will be it right here.
While we wait for this, I'm going to bring in our expert, Bill LeMonnier, for that.
Crown of the helmet does go down. Comes in forcible contact. That's what replay's reviewing here. And he gets him in the chest. Now the crown of the helmet isn't just the top. It starts right here on the forehead and goes through the top.
For people that get confused about the crown of the helmet hitting him in the chest, they think you have to hit him, the receiver or the running back, in the helmet. Can you clarify the
crown of the helmet hit applies technically from your head to your toes.
Anywhere.
Yes.
So it's more about the defender, for the fans that get frustrated. The defender lowering his head, he could hit him anywhere, not helmet to helmet, that type of hit.
Right. Helmet to helmet is not one of the terms we'll use when we come to targeting.
Right.
It possibly could be helmet to helmet, but that's not the criteria.
Different kind of play than the one that got Matthews disqualified. He just made a beeline for the receiver, and it was a clear targeting. This wasn't a lot like a lot of tackles you see in a football game.
Right, right. Bang, bang play. And he wasn't defenseless, right? Bill, would you say he was defenseless?
He's still in the process. I'd have him defenseless too.
He was bobbling. He kind of turned trying to make the catch when the shot was delivered.
And it is hard to play defense. I get it on the first one. This one's a little tougher for me.
I agree. And when the rule first came in, I used the thing to saying we tried to take Superman out of the game. This wasn't quite that Superman type hit.
No, it didn't feel like it. It was a big time hit. I mean, it was a heavy hit.
Here comes the verdict from the booth.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. Result of the play is incomplete pass, 3rd down.
So Jalen Green stays in the game. I think we have collectively not much issue up here with the two targeting reviews. So Young faces a 3rd and 9 here. Comes the pressure. Young slides and delivers a throw downfield, trying to get it to Burton, and makes a sliding catch, and it is ruled good.
Incredible.
Burton, the play that, or the guy I should say last week that had the problem with the field rush at Tennessee. Did he get that foot down? Possessed the football. Kind of obscured by that angle.
And it looks like the right foot's down before the left foot steps out of bounds. He came all the way from the left. Now they're going to take a peek. Looks like they're going to take a peek at this one too.
It's hard to say Burton was the guy that felt he was in danger when those fans at Tennessee rushed the field.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch.
He reached out with his hand and he shoved
a
female Tennessee student. Caused a big uproar. It was posted on her TikTok, and Saban elected not to discipline him in terms of a suspension for the game. That they handled it internally.
Yep.
Paid some price, but able to play here tonight.
That's the catch right there. Right foot is down, left foot steps out of bounds. Only question Bill would have is he bobbling the ball in any way?
I still see firm control of the ball. He may be trying to transfer one hand to the other, but I've got a catch.
Yeah, and right foot's down clearly. While he
drags that right foot.
Burton is the guy they've got him working with, anger management counselors. He threw a punch at a Texas A&M player. He was heavily provoked in that game, but did throw a punch and was penalized, and it could have been extremely costly in that game. It was tight late in the game when it happened, so he's Saban hoping he'll learn to sort of control his emotions a little bit better.
Absolutely.
It's a tough situation though when fans rush the field.
After review, the ruling on the field of completed catch is confirmed. 1st down.
So Burton makes an impact for the first time tonight. And Young again just so cool under pressure, kind of sliding to his right, waiting for someone to get open.
And again, the offensive line, the job that they're doing tonight for him. And again, you're getting a lot of rush 3, drop 8, but this time they rushed 4, and he's just back there almost like it's a 7-on-7 drill.
A couple of tight ends to the right. Williams is the back to the left of Young. They show pressure, and it's a run blitz, and he just patiently picks his way around the left side. Our sports injury analyst, Marty Jaramillo, and I have been talking for the last couple of weeks, Marty, about how they're managing Bryce Young's AC shoulder injury. He missed the one game and has now played under 100% the last couple of games, but has looked okay. What's Jeff Allen and the staff doing for him?
It's been only 3 weeks since Bryce separated his shoulder, where the tip of the collarbone actually stretches away from the shoulder blade. But you know what? Pain has been managed. They've minimized his throws, but he's still vulnerable because he's so mobile. He takes the hits throughout the course of a game and possibly lands with Jahmyr Gibbs did on that shoulder. I'll be counting the Mississippi's as well because the pain, the tightness will set in.
Here's what happened. Here's the play.
He can lose a lot of strength in his arm.
Yeah, you can manage the pain, but if you do happen to scramble around and fall on that right shoulder, then it's hold your breath time.
Yeah, and I would just say this. Nobody cares more about Bryce Young than Nick Saban, other than his family. And he's going to put him in a position where he's not going to put him in. The horse can get hurt, but if he were not in a position to go out and play, he wouldn't be out there.
And it's Earl going down low to make the catch. And I would also add that Saban has brought the sports medicine staff with Jeff Allen. The doctors here are second to none, maybe in sports.
Yeah,
period.
I agree.
So they use every piece of technology and expertise.
Work that they've done over the years here for Coach Saban with this medical staff and the players that they've been able to get out there. Tua comes to mind right away.
Young hit as he throws, delivers a thong throw downfield as a flag where he was hit.
Hit him again.
Nathan Pickering knocked him down and is incredulous.
I don't know where you just don't understand. You can't
Personal
touch
foul.
the quarterback.
Roughing the passer. Defense,
Like,
number 22. Contact to the head area.
If any defensive linemen are out there listening, once the guy holding the ball throws the football, let up. Just the play's over. You can't finish like that.
Can't hit him in the neck.
Yeah, it's just got under his neck, up near the face.
There's a target zone, right? I mean, they coach below the neck. Oh, you can't hit him low.
But to me, once the ball is out, just to be in this era that we're currently in, after two of the other couple weeks ago on a Thursday night, stop. Don't touch him. End of story.
You just cannot hit him in the head and neck.
Don't touch it.
That's when it's too obvious. Two-back look. They give it to Gibbs, running behind some blockers, but tackled for a short gain. Bill, we've seen a lot of this, and we're going to continue to see a lot of this with this roughing the passer being enforced. I got to say, very differently from game to game and league to league. Here's the rule as it's stated in college football.
Yeah, and on that hit there, he had no business going with the hand underneath the chin there. If he really thought he had the ball, he'd have been trying to tackle him.
And you can't hit him in the knee or below. You can't hit him in the neck up.
Let's just, with all due respect to your graphic there, it's like when you're reading in a book and you get to bold print. Right now, because of what's happening in the NFL and in college football, it's as if that graphic, can Bill redo it and put it in bold print, because it's intensified. Every game you watch, we're like, what's going on with the court? So if you're a defensive coordinator, tell your defensive lineman to lay off the quarterback. I mean, if you get to him and he has the ball, hit him. But if he throws the football, don't touch him.
Especially in the context of what's happened, because you're saying it's obvious, but then, again, in the game in Knoxville a week ago, it wasn't called.
I'm sure they'd love to have that call back.
Young trying to escape the pressure again. Gets bumped a little bit after the throw. No flag this time, but here it is. I mean, it's a rough and tumble game, and there was nothing called on this play.
Yeah, this is crazy. Ball's out. Think about what just has been called tonight, and how in the world big fella 2-1 doesn't get called for that hit. Bill, what are you doing?
Watch how he pinballs him. He gets up. The offensive linemen are distraught. Young is smiling about it.
Well, it's his style. But
yeah.
Bill, what did they apologize for that?
Well, I don't know about that. I'd admit it, if I was the referee, I'd admit I'd missed it.
Yeah, you would?
Here's a moment for Alabama, because Will Reichard has struggled a bit kicking field goals. Missed a couple against A&M. Missed one that would have won the game in Knoxville, but drives this one from 50 right through. And that's a positive sign, because going down the stretch, these games get tight.
Oh, yeah.
Reichard's been rock solid except for the last few games. You want to have him with full confidence.
Yeah, but you just can never replace the pressure kicks. You know, when you're up 21, it's a different.
True.
He's so capable, but you're in Knoxville, and it's just tight, concerned, game's on the line.
I know,
different kind of kick.
He barely missed it from what, 51.
Oh, he's so good, but it's mindset.
I got you. Back to Matt Berry.
Matty.
All right, guys, coming up with the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. It's a great day to be a Tiger, whether you're LSU or Clemson. We'll get highlights of both of those. Plus, a marquee day in the Big 12. Some good highlights, including that TCU game, Kansas State game going on right now. And the Buckeyes, boy, they continue to roll. Then again, Iowa, they only score points on defense.
Simeon Rice takes the kickoff and darts back across the 35-yard line. 2:48 and a half, 2 timeouts for Leach.
We have Todd McShay here, and he's down on the field marveling at a lot of things, whether it's Will Anderson, but especially Bryce Young. And Todd, what are you seeing tonight? I know you have incredible thoughts about him and his future.
Yeah, it's so much fun to watch Bryce Young on the field. because I'm only 6 feet tall and he's, what, 5'11"? And standing behind these offensive linemen, if you're going to be a shorter quarterback in the league, you've got to be able to find windows with your feet and maneuver around. He does it so patiently. When do you see him get a ball batted down?
Right.
And then the anticipation that he has, Kirk, is remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the pass rush. And it's Branch on the blitz, knocking Rodgers down.
Todd, we'll get right back to you, but Branch, this has been Pete Golding's call tonight. Not just bringing Anderson, but you can create one-on-one chances for Anderson, who's inside of that, by bringing that pressure. The back is, you saw the back. The back went right to Will Anderson because of the concern there, and it frees up Branch to be able to get home.
Second sack for the guy that plays the position they call the money position. Second and 15, and downfield shot, and again it's a contested throw, broken up there by McKinstry against Tulu Griffin. 3rd and 15.
Todd, real quick, just want to go back to you. There's so much talk about it, and this isn't about just the NFL. You and I kid about that all the time, but his size, you look at these guys in the NFL, they're not necessarily the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Bradys anymore. These undersized guys, there's a place for them. Is he right on the edge when he goes of being that top pick, one of the top quarterbacks out?
I think it comes down to he and C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, and it's really not the height, it's more of the frame and the durability long term. But the people I talk to in the league, if you love them, you're doggish on Bryce Young.
Rodgers throws it away. 195 Bryce is. He was 170 barely when he got to Alabama. He could still, though, add a little muscle, add a little bulk, and try to brace for what he's going to see on Sundays.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I think he does have the frame to be able to do that. And some of these guys just know how to avoid big hits. He reminds me of that kind of guy that's able to avoid contact, get down whether it's out of bounds or sliding underneath to those big hits. But the direction the NFL offensive schemes are going, he fits in perfectly. That somebody would be waiting to build their offense around his skill set.
A guy, Archer Trafford V, is back to punt the football for the Bulldogs. Get that V on the jersey. Not something you see a lot. You see the 2s, you see the 3s. You don't see a lot of Vs.
No, you never see a V. And a 56 and a mullet, all in one.
Stetson Bennett, the 4th, is he? I think he's a 4, right?
Yeah.
IV?
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning on Sunday, NFL Countdown. One-on-one with Daniel Jones, the G-Man, after the best start in like a decade, forever. Monday Night Football. Bears in Foxborough take on the Patriots at 8 o'clock Eastern. Deportes. The Manning-cast is back over on ESPN2.
Darren just made a good comment about my spotter, Darren Brown, just made a good comment about, you combine Mississippi State with this air raid offense and you go 3 and out and you're going tempo and it's not working, and now you give Alabama the ball here near the end of the first half in great field position.
Yeah, the 16-yard punt by Ole Archer sets the tide up. They've scored on their last 4 possessions, 3 touchdowns and that field goal. First down throw into heavy traffic. That was Kobe Prentice. The freshman has had a terrific start to his college career, hit behind the line. Holly?
You guys are talking about Bryce Young and getting beat up. That shoulder injury is still a situation. He didn't throw practice on Thursday. They're keeping him on a pitch count during the week. He's doing a 24/7 rehab. He's got machines that he has taken home to his house. He knows how to use them. He uses them overnight.
Holly, how about the battery-powered stim unit that he says he wears to class?
Yes, he is wearing a neuromuscular stimulator unit to class. He's using ultrasound lasers. He's doing table work for 5 to 6 hours a day with his rotator cuff to keep it strong. They said the biggest thing to do right now is minimize the swelling and the soreness. Athletic trainer Jeff Allen gave me a complete breakdown. The other thing that they're trying to do is to maintain his mobility and strength. So even as he's not throwing and taking that pitch count off, that he's staying strong with that arm. So 24/7, 5 to 6 hours a day in the athletic training room, but at his house he has several different types of machines and they've trained him on how to use it complete. One of them is called an Inter-X machine that he's using on the sideline as well. I got too much information. I'm just going to stop now, but I have a lot.
Holly, you're on a roll. That's Marty Jaramello's world, and we were talking earlier. He's marveling at what the tools they now have, 24/7.
Can you imagine
electrical current
with what Holly just said? And he's got a bye week next week before LSU. He really can get after that rehab.
Yeah, no more slacking. We got to ramp that up.
Right. 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi.
Uh-oh, don't take a shot.
9.
Even around this way, and finally just, after they chase him for 10 more seconds, he just flicks it into the bench.
Good defense. That's a good job by Mississippi State. Little combination coverage. They get good depth. Take away that deep crosser. You can see Burton. Burton almost runs himself. Again, that's that scramble drill. He runs himself into coverage. He had a pocket there if he could have settled, and Bryce Young will find you. It's amazing how he has that ability to locate when he's running around for his life. He'll find you if you can settle in that spot, that soft spot in the zone.
Take over at the 45, a gain just a yard in the first punt tonight. And it's kicked out of bounds by Burnett. See where they spot it. They're going to keep State the football. It'll be outside the 20 at the 22. Tomorrow afternoon on ESPN, Sunday NHL action. The Ducks finishing up a long road trip against the Red Wings in Detroit, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, also on the ESPN app. 5-game road swing in the NHL is tough. Western teams heading east and taking their lumps.
I'm going to check my phone to see if the Jackets got a win. They played the Penguins tonight. They've won 2 in a row, by the way, after a slow start. 3-3 in the second, Bears said. Bears on top of everything. 3-3 in the second.
We're checking Blue Jacket scores here in the first half.
Oh, we're going to check a lot of things in the second half.
1:06 to go before the break. And Rodgers underneath. You know, he hadn't completed a pass, Kirk, beyond 10 yards. That's something that against lesser pass rushers, he's actually done pretty good. He's got a nice downfield touch. They have not been able to do it once tonight.
No, remember, this is an Alabama secondary that was embarrassed on TV, big rating. Everybody saw it. Everybody's been talking about it. How about how they played in this first half? Giving up some plays, but not giving up any points. Remember all the talk about the penalties and what's going on, all the turnovers? They have 1 penalty on the night, and they have not turned the football over. So a big part of this week was about cleaning things up. There's Dallas Turner limping off. He's one of their better players. Hopefully he's going to be okay. But big part of Nick Saban was let's clean up all the issues that we had. And this first half, they've done that.
It was a penalty and a punt, by the way. It didn't mean anything. Rodgers going to be swallowed up by Will Anderson, who has terrorized the Bulldogs the last couple of years.
Well, Cameron Jones has the unenviable task of trying to deal with the best pass rusher we've seen in college football in a long time. The back releases looked like he actually grabbed onto his face mask to try to help him out, but one-on-one. This is like being down at Mobile, right, at the Senior Bowl. You're going to do a one-on-one drill with 31, you're going to lose. It's just the rules of the game. The back release, usually they've been chipping to try to help. You get isolated out on the edge, a big tackle.
Will talked about the joy of sacks. It brings him great joy to get the quarterback down. And
just want to
3 all-time in tackles for loss at this school.
Just want to say this about him. One of the most humble superstars you're ever going to come across. Love to see his work ethic, a leader. Every intangible you can think of, 10 out of 10. So he should be one of, if he's not the face of college football, you don't know how he can't be. Maybe it's because he plays defense in this world of offense and spread. 31 is the man, as far as I'm concerned.
It's incomplete. Byron Young is an older player than Anderson told us yesterday. He looks up to Will, even though Will is younger, but he also respects it. As great as he is, all those things you said, there's humility, because Young will offer a pointer to Anderson, and Will take it and learn from it and absorb it and not act like some arrogant guy. Who are you telling me what to do?
100%. Yeah, it's just refreshing to see a guy, one of the first, when your superstars are your hardest workers, and Nick Saban's has an incredible list of guys going back to 08 all the way through. And think about Will Anderson with 5 sisters around the house. That's what kept him humble.
Absolutely. 5 older sisters.
Yeah.
And there's a downfield pitch and catch finally. Austin Williams collects it. 11 seconds to go before halftime. Anderson pressured the quarterback again.
Yeah, the safeties separate here.
And line up and spike it to preserve that last timeout.
You get safeties that end up going here, and it creates an opening. And you know, Rodgers just feels this. This safety comes down. This safety separates. So now you've got a nice hole behind the linebackers. You see the great quarterbacks make those throws look easy. He put that right on a line. Didn't allow the safety to come over. Got it over top of Dallas Turner, who's back in the lineup after limping off. Mississippi State's still thinking about trying to get points here. 9 seconds to go.
Yeah, they added 2 seconds back on. They do have that one timeout. We know their field goal misadventures. They have to go quite a ways for Leach to feel comfortable. Rogers, short route. Catch is made by Thomas. He's brought down in the field of play, and they'll have to spend that final timeout with 3 seconds. Should have turned and got out of bounds there.
Exactly. He had a chance. By the way, Rogers felt the pressure again of Will Anderson. This time, instead of going around the right tackle Jones, he got underneath him.
When he gets revved up, when it's the end of the half or the game, and you're just trying to get after the quarterback, it is something to see.
Like you said, catch the ball, get out of bounds, right? Save that timeout. And then here he is. I'm going upfield. No, I'm not. Cutting back underneath. Jones is beat again. He's very fortunate that Cole Smith helped him out. He had a little whatever it takes to try to keep him out of there.
I mean, it is something to see. It reminds you of the greats at the NFL level in the pass rush. When it's time, winning time, when it's time to finish the game, my goodness, you know, the pass rush, A&M get down to the 2-yard line thanks to penalties against Alabama, and that frantic finish right here. But Anderson in that last drive was just going after the quarterback every play and affecting him. So it looks like a Hail Mary here. Rogers spinning, and he's just going to get run over. He just got flattened. It was Jamil Burrows. Anderson was in the neighborhood.
He rolls right to Will Anderson, who just did a spin move and was waiting for him, and Dallas Turner on the other side.
Promising start to this game for the Bulldogs. They came up empty early, and the Tide rolling 24-zip. Mercedes-Benz halftime report in the studio. Matt Berry and the guys.
Chris Fowler,
College football primetime presented by Subway. In this presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Chris Fowler back with Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, Todd McShay joining us, Bill LeMonnier in the booth, the cast of thousands here. And we'll have plenty to talk about here.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of topics in the second half because Alabama has this thing under control. And the last 10 quarters now, 2.5 games, Mike Leach still looking for that first touchdown against Alabama.
And what's frustrating for Mike Leach is the game at the beginning couldn't have gone any better. I mean, they drove the ball down the field, had a 12-play drive, turnover on downs, had a 15-play drive, missed a field goal. Bama was on the sidelines. They had the one big play by Bryce Young, but other than that, and then the tide turned. And you wonder again how they can keep their focus and their belief that they can get back in this game, especially when Bama's going to start with the ball.
Take a look at the Modelo fighting spirit moment.
Yep, and a lot of it has to do with, if you missed this, what Bryce Young's able to do. We've seen it last year. We're seeing it again this year. The awareness to find these open receivers. Pay attention when he's extending plays, how the receivers do such a great job of adjusting to him and getting an ability to separate from defenders. Accuracy on the move. He's as good as there is. So comfortable in that kind of throw. We're going to bring Todd in here in a second, but just more of the same from Bryce Young, trying to get this Bama team back on track after last week's loss in Knoxville.
See the downfield numbers overall. Young 15 of 20, buck 74 and 2. And escapes and is brought down. Todd, what are you seeing from field level?
I just, you look back to last year, he wins the Heisman Trophy. He's playing better football this year. You think you're going to, rush 3, drop 8 on him. He's the wrong guy that you think is going to create his own pressure in his mind. There's no chaos in his mind. Everything is so calm and poised.
And you said he won the Heisman last year. Very few guys have been able to follow up a Heisman season and not feel that pressure and not feel compelled to compare their numbers to last year.
Right. And Todd, think about this. Bill O'Brien, who's worked with some of the greatest, currently in the NFL with Tom Brady, obviously in New England, even Deshaun Watson when he was getting things done at Houston and playing such great football. He said this quarterback is as talented a guy as I've been around, is committed as any guy that I've been around. I think that says a lot about his potential and his future. We'll get your reaction to that after this play.
Bill O'Brien next to us over here, backward baseball cap flipped around, just dialing up plays, and it's all working right now. That's Jermaine Burton across the middle.
And Bill looked at me and said, listen, this is what you do. I'm just telling you, if I'm a team trying to rebuild and I've been there, this is the guy I want to bring in. I know there are other guys. There's C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. A lot of people love Will Levis from Kentucky, but he's the guy that can do it for you.
He would know.
He's a little biased, but I think a lot of guys would share his opinion. Put it on the tape and you see it.
Yeah, and where Bill O'Brien is, by the way, next year or the year after, who knows? I mean, Bill O'Brien's going to be a wanted commodity that has done a very nice job of kind of resurrecting himself, as many do when they get let go at another job. They come to work for Nick Saban and get things right and then become a wanted commodity, whether it's a head coach in college, maybe a head coach back up in the NFL. He's going to be somewhere soon.
He's used to having quarterbacks throw a lot during the week. He told us that Mac Jones, threw a ton when he was here. And there's a downfield shot and overthrown. As we take a look at Todd's top prospects.
I'm struggling a little bit, I'll be honest, with Stroud and Young. I've got him right there, 3 and 4. Jalen Carter, obviously a stud in the interior. Will Anderson, we've seen tonight and over again what he can do. But it's going to be interesting. As I mentioned, Will Levis has a lot of love from NFL scouts. I don't see him at the same quality, the level that I see from Stroud and from Bryce Young. They're different quarterbacks, but like you've talked about all night tonight, Kirk, he is so calm and poised in everything he does. It's a unique, special trait that Bryce Young has.
Yep. And that's really all we've ever seen from him. I don't think we've ever seen him uncomfortable or panic. Even last week against Tennessee, the game didn't go the way he wanted, but it's just his personality.
Runs around and flicks it downfield. It was over the head of Cam Latu, who has not been involved in the passing game yet tonight. 4th down now.
It's a good job by Mississippi State staying that time on tight coverage. Sean Preston that time was isolated, and we've seen when he scrambles how tough it is to, as they say, plaster that receiver. That time it was the tight end Latu, but the safety's able to stick with him to get Alabama off the field there.
What he's done, though, to follow up on that point, O'Brien likes his quarterbacks to throw a lot. Mac Jones used to throw maybe 200 times on game day, from the warm-up to the hallway tosses. Not all ripping throws, but to do this, he compared it to a golf swing. Yeah, you throw in a million balls, but to not do it during the week is still tough. Like Rice making it look easy. Well, the folks here, Brian Venny, like what they've seen so far. The AT&T 5G Skycam zooming over the $100,000 here. What they've seen is just one penalty for Alabama for 5 yards, no drop passes, and much better pass defense. Kind of what the folks here and certainly the coaching staff are hoping for. Rodgers, I tell you what, he's been harassed by Anderson tonight, Kirk, who's been credited with 6 quarterback pressures, and all 3 of their sacks have come without having a blitz. It's just a standard pass rush, and they're still able to harass the quarterback.
Yeah, and what I've liked about seeing him is that this defense has come up with different ways to apply pressure on this offensive line. They've pressured some with Branch, which has freed him up one-on-one.
Branch came on pressure there, was picked up, but the ball out quickly and complete to Caleb ducking. It'll be 3rd down. We've said that before tonight, 3rd down, right?
Yeah.
3 of 12.
Secondary has really played, and it's again such a different game against the air raid versus Hendon Hooker running that offense of Josh Heupel. Obviously, you can't compare the two, but just so important for them to bounce back and play a clean game. Secondary very dialed in tonight.
And that pass is complete, squeezed in there, and Rufus Harvey makes the catch and turns up. It's a 1st down.
Jordan Battle, good job. The leader on that back end comes very close. Give Rodgers credit for getting this in. He knew that ball was coming. He knew it was coming. It was almost like he was baiting him to throw the ball, but Rodgers threw it low and away enough to be able to get it in there.
And now Rodgers lofting downfield. 3 Bama defenders surrounding Harvey. Holly?
Well, I caught up with Mike Leach at halftime, and he said, I don't know why we're not being more aggressive right now. We're acting like these guys walk on water, and they don't. He wants his team to be more aggressive and play with more intensity. And then he said, the rest of it, I'm going to say no comment, because if I comment on it, it's going to cost me a lot of money. I said, let me guess. Officiating, he just walked away. No comment.
Well, be more aggressive. You hear that a lot from coaches. I'd love to know what he specifically means by that. He's the guy who calls the plays, and there's the pass rush. Ball knocked loose. Byron Young got in there, and that'll be the first turnover of the night. Tim Smith recovered the fumble.
Well, we've been talking so much about Will Anderson that we're not having a chance. We've talked a little bit about Dallas Turner, but here's the veteran Byron Young able to win now. He gets a one-on-one. You see that offensive line slides to the right towards Anderson, the right guard going that way, so you get a one-on-one matchup against Nick Jones. And Young, who's not necessarily the most twitchy guy, but has enough power and strength to be able to get around that left tackle and get that ball knocked away.
His arm was appearing to move forward, Bill. Give me a quick assessment of that. Incomplete or fumble?
I see the ball loose or starting to come loose in his hand, and it's more a push forward. The play is under review.
It's under further review.
So if the ball is knocked loose and he doesn't have control of it but just pushes it forward, that would be a fumble.
That would be a fumble.
Oh, Bill, this is a good one for you.
Oh, this is a tough call.
This is fun. This is a good one.
I don't know. To me, the arm comes forward. Then he bumps into Cameron Jones, the tackle there. And that's kind of when the ball comes out.
Bill, what do you have for us?
Well, I tell you, I hate to say it.
You love putting him on the spot. I love when he hesitates. I mean,
Your point about that he hit his own guy with the ball as his arm came forward. If the hand and
You think
arm are
that's what
coming
knocked the ball
forward,
out?
then you've got a forward pass.
do you need to see something that's super clear because the call on the field was fumble?
It has to be indisputable video evidence. Couple of views, I was going fumble. As I saw that last view there, I've changed my mind. I'm going to go with pass.
Well, the anticipation builds here. This is going to be good.
Leach is checking that play sheet, talking to Rodgers. I'm not sure what he can find on that little piece of paper that's going to work against this defense.
Maybe he went to his second sheet for the second half. Chris, I think you and Bill, I mean, it's really what we're seeing. His hand starts to come forward after he gets hit, and then the ball comes out after he makes contact with his own man. Ball is in his hand, in his hand, in his hand. Ball, hands coming forward, Bill. Then there's the Jones.
Pass.
It's a pass.
Pass.
That gave you a clear look. Okay.
Here's the official verdict from Scott Walker.
After review, the ruling is an incomplete pass. The quarterback's hand was going forward as he released the ball. It'll be third down and 10 at the 32-yard line.
All right, Bill, it was a tough decision for you, but you
He
made
did
the
a good
correct
job.
one.
A good job.
I had good coaching from my guys.
That's not easy.
This is like the replay center with my command center next to me.
Oh, come on. we were in command
Billy,
of nothing.
Billy, that's not everyone. All the fans that criticize, everyone thinks that's easy. Even with replay, those are tough.
3rd and 10, and that time the pass rush doesn't get near Rodgers, and he delivers first down catch to Tulu Griffin.
Nice job of picking up the pressure right here. You see a blitz by Tulu, picks it up right there, and then I love how the receiver works back to the ball. Instead of working and losing ground, he came back to the ball and was still far enough along to pick up that first down.
And there's Austin Williams making a catch. Branch came flying in. Ball out quickly. Another first down into Bama territory.
I don't know how he missed it. Branch has been doing this all night. Rodgers just kind of patted him on the back. He's been seeing him a lot tonight. And I think we've seen him get home one time, but more often than not, the ball's out so quickly, he's just going airborne, and Rodgers trying unique ways either to go over him or around him.
Get it out quickly to Rufus Harvey on the edge. He kind of jukes and darts forward for about 6 in front of Jordan Battle.
You know, Branch reminds me, for Nick Saban, he always has that ultra defensive back, Xavier McKinney, Minkah Fitzpatrick, that kind of guy that can move around and play different positions. Branch is the guy that's played now for 3 years, like a lot of the guys on the back end. Helms has been around, Jordan Battle's been around, Malachi Moore has been around, but he has the most versatility of them all.
2nd and 5. They bring pressure late. Rodgers is knocked down again. That was DeMarco Helms, who's having a much better evening than he did in Knoxville a week ago.
Watch him. This is his game. This is his game. Watch him creeping, trying to disguise. I'm not coming. I'm not coming. And then at the last second, he blitzes. Marks tries to pick him up. He goes right through. Think of the anger that DeMarco Helms has inside of him after last week's game where he got isolated in coverage downfield against Jalen Hyatt. Had to hear about it from everybody on social media. Had to hear about it from his friends and family and everybody criticizing him. He's had a tough week. He's played his tail off tonight.
3rd and long, and that's a catch made on the far side. Justin Robinson in front of Ricks, and they're stringing together first downs inside the 30 now.
Really good matchup here, one-on-one. Little hold, gets away with it, comes back to the football with his size at 6'4". Great ball. See that ball thrown to his outside shoulder? Great execution there by Mississippi State.
19-yard gain on 3rd and 13. Rodgers with a little shovel pass. Needs it down inside, but Simeon Price is going to be brought down right there by Toa.
Toa, again, the leader of this defense. Every time you talk to an Alabama player or coach about Toa, his impact, and everybody says he makes us right. He just gets everybody lined up. If a call comes in late, he's there to make sure everybody's on the same page in that front. See him communicating right now.
Fans have been angry with him.
Yeah, well, that's part of the deal, I guess, when you play here and you're one of the leaders. Things don't go well.
Looping throw to the pylon. It's off. Dropped by Tulu Griffin, who battled hard to get open. He was covered by McKinstry. Had it in his hands at the goal line.
Yeah, he won the matchup. You get one-on-one, no safety, so it's a matchup. And McKinstry really doesn't ever locate the ball. By the time he turns, you can see he pulls away from him, and then he just never quite was able to get a handle on the ball. I don't know if he lost it at the last second. Just unable to bring it down. That's a touchdown. And again, another well-thrown ball by Will Rogers. He saw one-on-one, and he went to the matchup that he wanted.
Behind the 6 for this 3rd down once again. Rogers zips it far side, and it's broken up by the long arm of Eli Ricks. Has been strong. Turner brought the pressure.
And that's what Nick Saban says. Trust your technique. Back shoulder. They've been throwing it all night. This time, Ricks, that is perfection. Perfection from Eli Ricks. They've been beating Alabama's secondary when they've made throws. On that exact throw, Ricks has seen enough of it, had enough of it, bent his body all the way back, and then the athletic ability to bounce back and anticipate that throw to the back shoulder.
So could have had a touchdown, should have had a touchdown 2 plays ago. Instead, they need 12 to keep a hold of the football here. Pressure comes. Rodgers backpedals and lofts it incomplete. Justin Robinson was running, but there were 2 DBs with him, and the Tide hold again on 4th down.
He thought he had a one-on-one matchup right here. They actually bring a blitz and then move a safety over. Watch the quarterback. He thinks he's got a blitz, one-on-one matchup, put it up in the air and hope for a 50-50 ball. No chance.
Tide take over. 8:06 in the 3rd.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Pepsi, made for football watching.
This Saban National Championships, by the way, 4 of them came in seasons that featured a regular season loss, but the Tide just bounced back. Low tide, high tide, nice little beach scene here. 182 is the 3rd most ever games without consecutive regular season losses. So 11, 12, 15, and 17. Tide lost a game, but then got back and won national championships. And Saban reminded his team of that. You think everybody's going to have a perfect season, and there have been a couple of those too. But typically, when his teams have done it, they've learned from a regular season loss and come back strong.
Yeah, they do. And I don't ever want to say that Nick Saban hopes that his team will lose because it recalibrates and gets him focused, but it sure has paid off.
Or State.
Look, they seem to be the culprit the next week.
Gibbs making a big impact here. Pitches the short pass and motors into state territory.
I think for the teams that win every year, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, over the last 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, however long you want to go back, I think it's hard to, it's human nature, right, to lose that edge, even just slightly sometimes. And no matter how much you yell and you scream at practice, sometimes they just don't feel like it's going to happen. And then when it does, you get their attention, and then you get a different anger about a football team.
Young just throws it away. And that's the thing about Alabama, too. People think it's anger that only comes from the boss and that Saban's walking around yelling at people. It comes from within the team. When Alabama's at their best, it's the leadership of the team that will not accept substandard stuff from themselves or anybody else. And there's a whole lot of tough messages being delivered. Byron Young talked about that. And it's typically at Bama, it's the big people. It's the defensive front that have big voices.
The first time I saw that was in 09 when they beat Texas in the national title. They went to practice the day before out in California, and Roe McClain undressed Dre Kirkpatrick in a practice like I've never seen before. And he was responding to Roe, not to the coaches.
We saw another practice before a playoff game in Arlington when Ashawn Robinson was involved.
John Reed.
John Allen was there too. I mean, they insisted that practice stop until Tony Brown was thrown out of the practice, a defensive back at the time.
And it's just they demand, the leaders of these teams, they just demand a certain level of intensity, not at the game, game's recess, but during the prep, during the Monday through Friday prep.
McClellan running to the right, and Saban frankly was hoping he would see from this team the same kind of response.
Well,
on the field, the performance, as we said, checked every box of improvement that he wanted to see.
And I think most importantly, about the talent, it's more about execution, right, on both sides of the ball. The offensive line tonight has played very clean game. We're not seeing any penalties. That's been a thing that probably keeps him up at night. Not losing to Tennessee, how they lost to Tennessee. It's kryptonite to him. It's a virus to his computer. It doesn't work.
Bryce just going to be wrestled down, dodged pressure initially, and then Bookie Watson got him. Sacked for the first time tonight.
The last couple games, you see the points. So this is their defense, points allowed. And tonight, the penalties, 17 penalties for an Alabama team that's usually incredibly prideful about how clean they play. And, of course, the touchdowns allowed. All passing.
229 more penalty yards for Bama than their opponents this year. They're plus 50 tonight. It's been State that's been flagged a couple of times for targeting. 2 players targeted. One of them was picked up. Young, look out. Blindside ball knocked loose, and he'll fall on it. Randy Charlton provided pressure, and Bryce mad at himself. He was a little too calm in the pocket that time.
Good job of knocking at the football. Not going for the big hit. Charlton smart, able to beat his man and then locate the football, and a good job by Bryce Young. I just want to finish this conversation by saying this was not Alabama sleepwalking into Knoxville. That was Tennessee out-coaching and out-executing an Alabama team. Give all the credit to Josh Heupel, Hendon Hooker, and the Tennessee Vols. They won that game. They earned that victory. It wasn't Alabama sleepwalking at all.
No, I think even Saban would admit that.
Yeah,
but Alabama was entirely too complicit in their own destruction there. Young running around and fires to the end zone, and it's incomplete. That was Holden trying to work his way across, defended by Richardson.
And they're so used to being able to, hey, if they're going to rush 3, drop 8, there's
Will Rogers sitting on the bike there.
Rogers looking up. He's watching on the screen right now. He's like, is he scrambling again? Is he going to make another throw? You see his face. These receivers, again, it's Bryce Young deserves all the credit, but these receivers do a good job of trying to help him and work back towards him.
So State's defense, the pass rush there, pressuring and forcing another punt. Bama shifting around here. Burnett kicks it very short, and it'll bounce out of bounds about the 10-yard line. Curtis Wilson, another busy week, finds his way down to Tuscaloosa, the All-State bus. What's the All-State mayhem moment today?
Sarks up 31-17 on the road in Stillwater. Look at Oklahoma State fighting back, tied up, 3 minutes to go, and Bryson Green takes it to the house. They take the lead. Quinn Ewers with a chance late, tipped, intercepted, and give Mike Gundy, ranked 11th, all the credit in the world for finding ways to win football games in that tipsy-turvy Big 12.
Rogers, and the catch is made by Wally. K-State, though, still in control of the Big 12 Conference and leading.
How about that?
CU right now.
From the last 4 years, Spencer Sanders has controlled that offense, gets better with more experience, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, 11
up there.
His ranked team.
Put it up there. He plays his best when people expect him to get challenged.
Todd flying in there toe-to-toe and missed the tackle, but they clean it up.
Big one next week, by the way, for Oklahoma State with Kansas State in Manhattan.
Purple Cats keep winning. That could be a battle for first place in the conference. 6 for 16 on third down. They've gone for it 5 times on fourth down tonight and converted 2 of those. Rogers incomplete, tried to press the ball in there, and that was Marco Helms who got there to break it up. He's made a few big plays tonight. Here comes the punt team.
Watch him right back here. Watch him drive down on this. Again, anticipating the quick slants. Here, this one's taken away. Here comes the next one, and Helms is right there before the ball's even thrown. If that ball's accurate, it's probably intercepted. Another nice play by number 2 on the back end.
Archer Trafford, I think it's 16 yards earlier tonight. So they go to Georgopoulos, the 2 punters, and he knocks it up high, and the fair catch made at the 43-yard line by McKinstry. But tomorrow, 10 Eastern, Sunday NFL Countdown, again featuring Daniel Jones, the 5-1 New York Giants. A Monday night. Part of your world too. Bears, Patriots, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Give me a thumbnail on that one.
Justin Fields still trying to find his way and find the rhythm, and the Patriots winning with Bailey Zappi. Mac Jones out, Alabama quarterback. You know where Bailey Zappi went to school, right?
Give me a second.
It's my Aflac trivia question for you today.
Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi. Come on, kid. You got this.
I don't have it. I don't think we
Bowling Green.
We didn't feature them.
Kentucky. Okay. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Western Kentucky. Where did he start there? Houston Baptist. And now he's under center for Bill Belichick and the Patriots on Monday night against the Chicago Bears. Oh, Bailey Zappi.
Gibbs in heavy traffic wrestled down at the line of scrimmage. Holly?
Well, Jahmyr Gibbs really starting to make a name for himself here at Alabama. Just been super dynamic this season. And I talked to him this week. He told me a story about when he was in high school in Georgia. He ran for 420 yards in 3 quarters. But he said the real story is he had an 85-yard run that was taken back after a penalty. So he thinks he's over 500 yards in that game. This is a young man that's been very prolific, and he's really starting to bust out for Alabama, make his name known nationally.
That's for sure. Kind of a slow start to the season, was nicked up, but he has been explosive lately. Quiet night tonight by his standards. 6 for 35 as that pass is incomplete for Earl.
Chris, I think you go back to the point about Bryce Young not able to practice as much because of the shoulder tonight. It's not going to matter. They're up 24, but they have a bye week, see if he can get healthy, and then they go to Baton Rouge for a showdown with the way that the Tigers are playing. But that was an example of just timing and rhythm. It's not so much his ability, it's just continuing to work with these receivers and muscle memory, and you were talking about it earlier and how important that is to get reps and reps and reps, and right now he can't do it because of that shoulder. It's mental reps.
I'm actually a little surprised that O'Brien was saying it's so important as the punt is muffed down there, still flying around, and Alabama's got it. Davian Thomas had it bounce off his chest, and Jalen Moody makes the recovery, and now there's a pushing and shoving after the play. Tide of a short field yet again tonight.
Bama's been catching the breaks. They sure didn't catch many breaks last week. There's this long snapper down there, a lot of Alabama jerseys down there, and eventually Moody, the linebacker, gets his hands on it. Just misjudged it.
Good call, the old Nealon Hibbett running down there, making a play. You snap it, and then you get all the way down there, and first to get there. And Thomas, young player, dynamic Turner, and receiver, serves it up in a silver platter for Young here at the 17. Gibbs accelerates. Got this incredibly quick feet. I was talking to Todd this week about, you know, who have you seen that's, you know, Kamara maybe in the NFL? Who,
yeah,
that kind of electric footwork.
Yeah, and very similar skill set too, coming out of college.
Yeah, that's hit behind the line and driven back. Todd, you were saying that Gibbs has played his way into a first-round grade at this point.
Yeah, obviously tonight he hasn't had the same production. He got the shoulder injury early that Holly talked about, but man, is he impressive. The last 3 weeks, 513 total yards. Alvin Kamara is a name that comes up a lot when you're talking about him in the league. I've been talking to Rick Spielman for a while tonight. He's on the field. He's helping out with Alabama. He was the general manager of the Vikings for a long time. He said he's a lot like my guy I used to have in Minnesota, Dalvin Cook. A lot of similarities there, too.
Takes a special running back, Todd, to get picked in the first round these days. How do you rate him versus Bijan Robinson at Texas?
Yeah, they're the two first-rounders in this draft, in my opinion. Bijan's a bigger physical guy. He's got some wiggle, and he's incredible in the passing game. But if you're looking for more kind of a home run hitter, Gibbs is your guy. I mean, we talked to the coaching staff yesterday, and they said that he's the fastest player on the team. And you can see it's not just the speed, though. It's the twitch, getting in and out of breaks, and Kirk making guys absolutely whiff in small areas.
And he catches the ball. I mean, he's so dangerous out of the backfield in today's modern NFL game. It's so big to be a three-down back. Tell Rick we said hello. He's a good man.
Will do.
23 MPH, by the way, for Gibbs on the catapult. That is fun. Unusual to have a running back be the fastest guy on the team, frankly.
Sure is. You don't see NFL backs picked anymore in the first round very often.
No, you don't. You figure you can find a quality back as McClellan is slammed down and a flag comes. Palms up is Colin Duncan there.
Maybe grab the face mask here. I think he's frustrated with the call, but let's see if he does. Colin Duncan, 19 right there, grabs a hold of him, still grabbing a hold of that
helmet. Side of the helmet there.
Bill, how about a clarification there on what that would be?
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 19.
It comes under the face mask umbrella, right? But you can't grab any part of the helmet.
Any part of the helmet opening, that's just like the face mask. So that's a correct call.
You said it, frustration.
Yeah, I was just about to brag on how they're fighting here, down 24 as a defense. They just, after the muffed punt, give Bryce Young great field position, and they make a play right there without having that penalty. He's short of the first down.
Sixth time the state defense has been penalized tonight. They've been costly. Young flips it, and it's broken up. Latu was the intended receiver. Good coverage there.
Yeah, Sean Preston gets up in the air. That is a tough thing to do when the quarterback knows that he's got a big tight end at 6'5". He intentionally lofts it up in the air because he knows he's going to win that. And 12 does a heck of a job to keep him away from going up to make a play for the touchdown.
It's a progressive pylon cam.
Great play. That looked like a no-brainer. Easy touchdown.
Second and goal, snap off the hands of Young, and falling on it is Roydell Williams to avoid the turnover.
Yeah, they just went right through the hands of Bryce Young. I don't know if he took his eyes off of it, trying to get the ball to Burton, but the ball is a little high, but of course he's easy. Yeah, he took his eyes off it. See, even the best makes some mistakes. You see his eyes? Came right off the ball and looking at Burton. Probably going to flip it to him real quick.
End of 3. Still some coaching moments. Coach Saban. Watching ESPN College Football Primetime. And welcome back to this presentation of the SEC and ESPN. Well, they're rocking Skinnerd as they do here before the fourth quarter. Bully, check it in. Bully gets a lot less hype than Uga over there in Athens.
Look at that face.
He's smaller, but he's
English Bulldog. English Bulldog.
Yeah.
He is rocked up.
Good-looking dog.
He's beautiful. Might go down here in the fourth quarter and say hello.
Tide trying to punch it in here. A 3rd and goal, backed up at the 15. Young eludes pressure, buying time, flips it into the end zone, and it's broken up. Trying to find Burton back at the end zone, and Sean Preston makes another good play on this drive.
Yeah, he's had about enough of it as far as these receivers being able to get away from coverage. Great job again by Bryce Young buying time. He's waiting until the last second, and then an incredible job by Sean Preston, the last few plays of locating the football and going up and timing up his leap perfectly.
It's a secondary that lost Jackie Matthews, their starting safety, to targeting in the first half. So Preston pressed into duty. And Will Reichardt's had a solid night, and fans will be glad to see that. No drama from 33. Bullies boys down 27-zip. Next Saturday on SEC Network, Hogs host in Auburn. Missouri takes on the Gamecocks, who are surging. And Ole Miss off a loss by 25 in Baton Rouge today, taking on A&M. 3 undefeated teams lost. Rebels by 25. UCLA by 15 at Autzen. Clemson, Syracuse, someone was going to lose that battle of unbeatens. And TCU in trouble right now as we head it back to Matt Berry.
Chris Fowler, thank you. Penn State fell from the unbeaten a couple weeks ago, and Michigan pummeled them a week ago. Sean Clifford here to Parker, Washington, bouncing back against the boat, 24-10, third quarter, ABC. And here's one to keep an eye on. You talk about the unbeatens. Deuce Vaughn plants the foot and goes 47 yards. Right now, it is Kansas State up 28-17 over TCU.
There'll be some 3 undefeated teams losing by double digits if that score holds.
Yeah.
You'd be down to 4 if TCU loses that game.
Keep my eye on
5, I should say. 5.
Again, I'm keeping my eye on DeMarco Hellams just because of the way he played last week. And we've seen him defend the pass much more in his more familiar spot back there at safety, separating receivers from the football, and in run support, coming down with bad intentions.
Rogers flips it at the last second to get the ball to Price just as he was going to the ground, pressured heavily by Will Anderson, who's been a menace tonight. Just the 1 sack, but a constant presence in the backfield.
Good job by Jones of trying to hold on as long as he can. Again, that's a tough matchup for him out there at right tackle without somebody chipping and helping. Anderson actually got to Rogers, and he just kind of slid off of him. Heck of a job by Rogers to keep that play alive.
Needs 5 on this 3rd down. And they'll spend a timeout.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Subway. Try the all-new Subway Series menu, your pick of 12 irresistible subs. And in part by DirecTV. Get your TV together.
Big Al hooping it up. There's the student section there, part of the Taco Bell Live Más student section. The contest continues all season long.
What's up?
Since 2016, you can say that the dominance continues for Alabama. We have a guest in the booth, Kirk.
The big fella came up here.
I thought you were joking.
No,
I thought you were kidding me.
No, Bully came up here.
Bully has made an appearance. I don't know if Bully will sit in the stool we have for him.
Get him on the stool, or can you get him a chair, maybe? Let him come up here and saddle up.
Bully's used to having that kind of ringside seat down there on the field.
I don't know how we can get.
What's your name? Lisa has brought Bully up here. You want to?
Can we get Bully? You want me to pick him up here? I gotta go down and get him. All right. How much does he weigh? 60 pounds. All right. Here we go, Bully. All right, Bully's here. Here's Bully.
It's okay. Don't panic. Don't panic. Thank you, Lisa. He's seen some. How old is Bully? He's 8 years old. He's just in his prime. He's got a lot of seasons left.
He's got a lot of girth.
You want me to take a rep? Is that what you're doing? Put him down.
I'm going to get the air conditioning. You take a.
You see here. Don't bite me.
No, he's not going to bite you.
He just backed away like he wouldn't.
I'll get him
wasn't
again.
too excited about being lifted up again.
Huh? Oh, they're going to get him a chair.
Let's get him a chair. Lisa, I'm going to go with you on this one. He said, "No, I let that other dude pick me up. I'm not going with that."
You get a chair?
I'll tell you what. It is a great thing that the mascots, in the SEC, when you have a live mascot, Bully versus Uga, you're biased. What distinguishes him from the more famous Bulldog at Georgia? Well, he's a little bit more famous, I think, nationally.
There's Bully. There we go. I got a lather, by the way. Here. There's Bully. I'm going to put you on the table.
Oh, no. Never mind my chart there.
There's Bully on the table. Right there.
Before you do, is it just FYI, has Bully done his business lately?
There we go, Bully.
He sits on my chart. Oh, he's enjoying the view from the field here. Oh my goodness.
There we go.
This is a first.
Great view.
I hope not a last.
Great view. Oh, that's great. Snacks are here.
You're working up a sweat lifting that big guy.
There you go. Just take a seat there. See, the footing on this board here isn't helping him.
Well, next week we're at Tennessee, Kirk. Maybe Smokey can keep the tradition going. You got to love the dogs of the SEC.
I'm trying to help him out here.
Meanwhile, somewhere down there, Gibbs runs the football for a nice first down gain.
All right. It's good to see you.
I wish Bully could see a score. I wish Bully could see some points, frankly, from Mississippi State. There's been some tough road trips across the state line here to Tuscaloosa for him and for the team. Here's the All-State playoff predictor here. This is interesting because obviously Ohio State's been in that pole position, and the competition in the SEC, that three-way battle between Georgia and Tennessee, who will collide in Athens coming up, and then Alabama. So three of those teams given a better than 50-50 chance. Obviously, Alabama's got to take care of business in the West. Ole Miss lost today, kind of solidifies things for them.
Clemson wasn't even in that, a few weeks ago, but got a test today, by the way, against Syracuse.
Bryce on the run, just flips it into the open grass. That was interesting. I thought we were kind of joking, and then all of a sudden I looked behind here.
No, Bully was on this, and you couldn't see him, so we had to lift him up, lower back.
As a three-piece suit there. Did it survive?
That survived.
Okay, good.
All right.
I'm telling you now, Smokey's going to storm the booth next week. All dogs are going to want equal time.
No problem. I'm all about the dogs.
All kinds of time again. Spins out of trouble. And he'll just scoot out of bounds. AT&T 5G rankings, the AP poll, which will be replaced pretty soon by the CFP committee rankings.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, that was a kind of a toss-up game, but LSU, you figured they're going to have problems stopping the run. They got behind early, and I think it was a 35-3 run they went on in that game.
I think the big story is Dan Lanning, the former Georgia defensive coordinators, took the Oregon job. Big game against Chip Kelly and UCLA. Remember, they lost the opener, embarrassing fashion to Georgia and Atlanta. Since then, they have become a different team. So congrats to Dan Lanning and the Ducks on a big win today.
Across the middle, and the catch is made, and he got hammered again after the flag comes out. Jalen Green came, the completion to the 42-yard line, so this will be tacked on.
You bring pressure, you create a man-to-man situation right here, which means you got to pick it up. He buys just enough time. You see him get hit that you mentioned, but a good route by Brooks to get that separation. Once again, they're trying to get to Bryce Young and getting to him late.
Foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run and includes an automatic.
No targeting, he just got him after the ball was out. You know, Young takes as many shots as anybody after releasing the football this year. And that was a blitzer coming at full speed.
Yep.
He landed on the left shoulder. We talked to Marty earlier. When you take shots, Brooks, by the way, is out of the game too. You take shots on that injured right side.
Oh man!
It flares back up. You're really going to lose all zip on the pass, and you're trying to deal with the pain. That time he landed on his left. But I wonder how much longer Bryce Young is going to be kept in there. It's a concern with teams teeing off on him, Holly.
That's right, but you know what he has done this year to kind of ensure against that is he's put on some weight. When he came to Alabama, he was 168 pounds. He said, I was trying to hit 170 for weigh-in day, but I fell a little bit short. But he's now about 190. He's added some size to that frame. He said, we're doing it through science, nutrition, really planned a specific plan to add weight to that frame that still can move and have mobility.
He's a hard gainer, isn't he? Didn't easily put on weight. Can still bulk up a little bit. I don't care what you weigh. You take a shot like that from a blitzer, though, in a full run. Natsu makes the catch.
Great route and just I'm sorry, Chris, just a great route and a feel with patience by the tight end. Bill O'Brien loves Latu, and I think Bryce Young loves him. And I think down the road in bigger games, he's going to become a factor. And it's not necessarily that it's a big gain. It's just a feel that he shows here, an awareness of where to just kind of settle down the road. I promise you, 81 will be a big player at a critical moment.
Came here as a linebacker. His 47th game in Alabama.
Continue to be impressed by Mississippi State. A lot of twists and movement up front by Zach Arnett. Remember, Zach Arnett comes from that family tree going back to Joe Lee Dunn, Rocky Long. It's kind of an unconventional 3-3-5 stack, very risky. Like to take chances on normal nights, challenge the offensive line in their communication. Although tonight with Bryce Young, it's been a little bit more conservative, rushing 3 and dropping 8, trying not to give up the big play.
There's Will Reichert. He's mid good from 50 and 33. This from 38. And he knocks it through. So Reichert, slump is over. Bama fans can take a deep breath. Not pressure kicks, but 3 for 3 tonight. 30-0. It's a cool scene. The Formula One comes to Texas. The Aramco U.S. Grand Prix from Austin. Only 4 races to go. Who do you like to win the Formula One season points title?
Front left. I'm going to go with front left there. Who do you like?
I like Max Verstappen because it's just about all of it over. It's a lock. It's a trick question.
My bad.
You threw me a trivia earlier.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
Yeah.
You got me.
And the kickoff will bounce into the end zone. Matt, do you have a Formula One update for us from the studio there?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a highlight on the guy in the front left. Show you what he's doing. That'd be Kendre Miller for TCU, getting the frog back in this one, 28-24, midway through the third quarter. Reminder, coming a little Pac-12 After Dark tonight on ESPN. Michael Penix Jr. in Washington. If your guys' game doesn't go final, we'll start this one over on ESPN News. Then we'll bring back over here on ESPN and cheer for the guy in the back right.
Yeah, that's Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. We'll see if we can get some more animals up here in the booth. 9:13 to go. Any ideas? Let's get Big Al up here. Equal time.
Well, I started with a duck this morning.
You did. I think you were more comfortable. You were more comfortable
with the live
up a bulldog than you were with the live duck.
Yeah,
the live duck had you rattled. Of course, I brought the live duck.
Bird flu and all that stuff. I'm just not into the feathers flying. Birds flying, the feathers flying all over the place.
There's some stem.
But he's listening to Holly. He's getting that stuff done even during the game.
Very, very cool stem, as Bryce calls it. Cool stuff. There's a flag. I'm trying to protect Rodgers there. All the different gadgets and devices they have now.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Offense, number 58.
Sometimes, you know, you come into a game and you know that Will Anderson is potentially going to take it over, whether it's running. That's the thing. You don't sleep on how he defends against the run. He's physical. You look at his length and his torso and you think he's just a pass rusher. It's not the case. Of course, he's an elite pass rusher, one of the best we've ever seen in college football. But I'm always blown away when we come and have a chance to prepare and really study the film and watch him play in person. How strong he has gotten. Josh Maxson, who works with Nick Saban in this Alabama team, said the strength coaches said he got 40% stronger in his upper half. How they break that down, it's this new technology that they use with their strength staff. 40% stronger from where he was last year, when a lot of people thought he was the best player in college football a year ago.
Todd McShay joining us tonight. Are there any holes in his game at all, Todd, that the scouts would try to look at and say, I mean, got to work on that?
Yeah, if you want to nitpick, you can say he's not built like your typical edge, but I don't care. I mean, I've got a higher grade on him than Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker, top 2 picks from a year ago. There's nothing he can't do, and the power that he has for his frame is remarkable.
As Leach, you know, is anybody you compare it to? He was bringing up Brian Urlacher, who was a great linebacker at New Mexico back in the day, but he felt Urlacher had strength that Anderson doesn't have. I don't want to correct Coach Leach there. I don't know who's stronger pound for pound than this guy.
Yeah, I really can't think of anybody, and you add in the quickness that goes along with it, and then I think the most important thing is the drive. Like he is so driven to get better, studying film and wanting to learn new moves, and it's just so impressive.
That time Rodgers stands in, delivers from the pocket, but it's incomplete. Try to put the ball again in and around 4 Alabama defensive backs. Jaden Walley. Hutchinson strikes me as that same kind of guy too. Again, he was driven, hungry to improve, and also approached the job with humility. He was a big voice, kind of a character, but I think he knew that he had to continue to learn and grow throughout his college career, no matter how much success he was having.
And he faced some adversity, as you said. I mean, the ACL, the setback, and he had to deal with COVID and all that. So yeah, he was the guy last year as well, and now playing on Sundays, and he had some serious twitch in his game too.
Georgopoulos this time kicks a low one along the ground, and it will roll dead down inside the 25. So on homecoming weekend here in Tuscaloosa, Tide trying to preserve a shutout midway 4th quarter. Bama football, and Bryce Young's evening is complete. Finishes 21 of 35, threw for 249, a couple of scores. Got hit a lot. Actually took some shots. Appears to be okay. And Jalen Milroe will come in. Milroe filled in, and he was unable to go against Texas A&M. Got the start there. Had some turnover problems, actually. And that goes to McClellan, and they want to see him, do mop up and play clean football tonight.
They said he's really responded from that game against A&M. But going back to Bryce Young, just one last thing. How great is it to see Bryce and Nick Saban have that moment on the sidelines? If you're a Bama fan, from where this team was, oh boy, there's the backup running back McClellan who's coming off. But yeah, think about it. You saw Nick Saban actually smiling there on the sideline talking to Bryce Young.
A lot to smile about because his team has responded the way he wanted them to.
One penalty, no turnovers.
Yeah, the score, it wasn't even the point really for Nick. I think he expected to win. Most of us did, but it's how would they win? Would they win with a complete performance? And a nice moment there.
Look at the smile. See?
It's getting contagious.
Look at Wright, though. He's smiling. Bryce is always going to smile.
Yeah. Saban wanted to see better coverage. Again, a different kind of scheme, less stressful for this defense than Tennessee's was, but they responded really well. Eli Ricks has come in at quarterback, our corner, and played extremely well. As you said, penalties, just one. It was way back in the first quarter, didn't cost him. They haven't dropped the ball, which is they were one of the leading teams in FBS in drops coming in. They've held on to the ball tonight. Check that box. 3 for 3 in field goals. Check that box.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, history told us that this is what happens. Normally when they lose a football game in the regular season, they come back refocused and anxious to get back on the field and clean it up, and that's what they've done.
Tyler Harrell made that catch. This is the first action he's seen for Alabama this year. He's been dealing with injuries. This is a receiving core that fans will still want to see develop, Kirk. It's a little bit different type of receiving core for Bryce Young. It lacks some of the pizzazz, I would say, of recent years. They've got some young guys who have the potential to be special.
Yeah, I would say the juice, and they're waiting for that. I mentioned earlier how much Bryce Young reminds me of Steph Curry and his style of play, his mannerisms, the way he leads his team, kind of basketball on grass when he breaks on a scramble, puts so much pressure, and then he remains so poised, and that's his hero.
I was at the ESPYs. I think Steph looks almost more excited next to Bryce.
Big sports fan, yeah. You're right, though, about the receivers, and I think that's something to track. LSU in a couple weeks in Baton Rouge. You make a good point that the younger receivers are getting better. Isaiah Bond, Prentice, we've talked about. Brooks has been around, but these guys are going to have to keep taking that next step for Bama to eventually get to where they want to go, because you can't just do it with Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield. They've been spoiled over the last 8 or 10 years with game changers and guys that can score in the blink of an eye. And right now they're still building that on the perimeter with Bryce Young.
You got Trayshawn Holden, who's a very solid third down red zone kind of guy, but will not wire with speed.
Think about what Jamison Williams did if he caught a quick slant last year.
Yeah,
it was gone. Like if you gave him a seam, it was gone, and it was every game, and it puts so much pressure on a defense to have to deal with that, and it opens up other aspects of your offense. And right now, not to say that it might not get there, but right now you don't have a Henry Ruggs or a Jamison Williams or any of the receivers, Jalen Waddle. You think about Devontae Smith. Think about who they've had here, and they're kind of retooling that.
You look at the yardage total, it's not going to wow you, 290 for Bama, but they had a short field a lot. And they were very efficient. They had, at one point, 24 points in their first 34 plays. Things have calmed down since then. So as we head down the home stretch, CFP committee rankings will be the 1st of November.
Still do those Tuesday night shows till then. In case you're keeping score at home, Chris. If you're hanging out and want to see hypotheticals, that kind of thing.
Enjoy, you guys.
Yeah.
December 4 is Selection Sunday. The Final Four bracket and the bowl games announced. Heisman following that.
Glendale and Atlanta this year for the semis.
Yep, New Year's Eve.
And then SoFi for the big one.
Rodgers completes a pass. That's his 24th tonight, which means he's now within 4 of 1,000 career completions. He's already the career record holder in the SEC for completions. Did it in a lot fewer games than Aaron Murray. Trying to get to 1,000 completions in his 30th game. That is really fast. These guys who've completed a lot more passes than long careers, mostly air raid type offenses. Pass broken up nicely there by Jordan Battle.
This offense, and it's kind of what it is with Mike Leach. They don't get the ball thrown down consistently downfield. A lot of it's mesh routes, crossers, and they try to challenge your communication underneath. And what Bama's done a really good job of is passing those over and everybody picking up a man. The safeties, we've seen them down, whether it's been Helms or Battle, doing a really good job to help out Brian Branch and the linebackers, communicating very well.
3rd and 5, long throw. And no chance there, trying to fight back with Robert Thomas in his 4th down. Bulldogs can't find a way to grab some points here. It'll be a 3rd consecutive shutout in Tuscaloosa.
Chris, watch it just real quick. Look at the body turn. They've been doing this all night, anticipating an inside type of route. But you see how they're positioned, almost baiting the receiver like, I'm ready for you. Shoulders turned, ready to turn their hips and run. Makes it very tough with inside leverage to get inside of that defender.
Here we go. If they're going to try to get on the board here and avoid back-to-back shutouts in this building, they need 5. Here comes the pressure. Rodgers hit as he throws, but the completion is good for a 1st down to Rufus Harvey.
Great ball. There's an idea of what he can do and how well he can anticipate with this group of receivers. That ball was out well before his receiver got to the top of his route to break towards the sideline. And there was pressure, but I think he just felt the right time to release that and threw a perfect ball.
The completion to Harvey. We talked about the heavy hearts of Mississippi State. On their helmets, you're going to see a decal honoring Sam Westmoreland. We talked at the beginning there. SW78 on the left side of the helmet there. The team will go to the funeral of the former offensive lineman down in Tupelo this week. So they'll continue to deal with the sadness of that event.
Yeah.
Rodgers flips it to Marks. That will count as a completed pass, so he's now within 1 of 1,000 completions for the career.
Give Pete Golding a pop here, the defensive coordinator from Alabama. When Alabama loses and they don't play well on defense, Pete Golding needs to be fired, according to social media and the fans. Well, they just put up a goose egg with 150 to go in this game. How about you give him some credit for getting this defense ready to play? They played exceptionally well tonight and been on the same page, most importantly. And now they'll have a bye week to get ready for LSU. So I'm just saying, Pete's a great coach. You and I have been coming into Tuscaloosa dealing with Kirby back in the day, and these assistant coaches, they come and go. But this guy, he never complains. He never makes excuses. He just takes the abuse from the fans out there. And that's part of the deal when you're defensive coordinator for Nick Saban. But this guy's a good coach.
He just laughed. He said, I've been here 5 years. That didn't faze me. You know what, though? It's most important to him. When he goes home, his 3 kids, who are 10, 7, and 4, aren't going to be angry and mad with him like they were last week. They're his toughest critics.
Yeah, he keeps a good perspective on it, but he deserves some credit when these guys play good.
Oh, no doubt. But he said, listen, he grew up the son of a coach. He was a high school coach in Louisiana, Mississippi. He's been around it. He knows how tough it can be. But when it's tough when your kid's in school because they say your dad's this and that. He should be fired. It's tough when a 10-year-old, 7-year-old.
Kirby will tell you he lived this when defense plays great. Boy, Nick Saban's defense is doing great. And when the defense struggles, it's what the heck's wrong with Kirby and that defense. And now, Pete Golding is living that.
Their 4th down play. Keep the flicker of hope alive with getting points on the board here. Long throw, and the catch is made. So Roger had a flag is down after the catch there. Kid Street tackling Thomas. Let's check the flag before we give him his 28th completion of the night.
I don't know, maybe
1,000th for his career.
Steps out of bounds, then gets hit by Helms. Maybe
the flag came in after the ball was caught.
Pass interference.
Oh,
Defense number 1. A rule the ball would place at the spot of the foul includes an automatic first down.
Okay, so they'll take the penalty and it will not go as a completed pass.
Keep in mind, Bama's up 30-0, and after the week that you could see there, the push there on the back shoulder. But keep in mind that almost all the starters are still in this lineup. You'd think they'd put a lot of the backups in, but after the way they played last week and the week they've had, they're finishing it with the starters.
The catch made by Thomas, and there it is. He extends his own record again. It's one of those little milestones, and he's got some other things he can chase in terms of yardage, but second fastest to 1,000 completions ever. Luke Falk, Washington State, again, Leach connection there. Did it in 30 games. Rodgers did. You won't care about that. It's a disappointment. I mean, you come over here, 3 times in a row, and you don't score. It's interesting too. We've talked about this Bama defense a lot. Remember, their depth was really tested. One of the reasons why the starters had to play a lot, because there were 5 dudes from the 2 deep in the front 7 who couldn't go tonight with injuries. So they'll get them back, get them healthier. But Will Anderson did what we expected him to do tonight. He had about half of the quarterback pressures that Alabama generated tonight himself.
Yeah, and I think the timing of some of those injuries in the inside helped them because of who they're playing. You go up against the air raid, you can move some guys around like a Tim Smith, who's an outside guy, more inside, and then you're playing with just a couple defensive linemen. You have 6 defensive backs on the field, but it's a heck of a plan. They put it together. They know Mike Leach. They know this offense very well. Some people say it's a complicated offense. It's not that many plays on the play sheet, but there's a ton of route adjustments to the leverage of coverage. And both Nick Saban and Pete Golding told us about the importance of a pre-snap, post-snap move.
So they're trying to end an 8-year drought.
Yeah,
they're trying.
That's why they called a timeout, right?
See if they can find pay dirt here in the final minute or so. And they hand it off. Price is going to get knocked down. He picked up about 10. Stop the clock, and that is the game within the game. And we'll see if Bama, again, you talked about starters are still out there. Turner, Otoa is out there. And Golding's still coaching hard. He wants the goose egg. 2nd and 1. Rodgers thrown for their pylon. Back shoulder diving catch, but no good. Jameer Calvin worked his way back, but maybe he did get in bounds. Let's double check.
A little rub route there. It opens it up. He's got a chance. He's got an open receiver, and just remember, he keeps throwing back shoulder, back shoulder, back shoulder. Looks like he holds onto the ball, but he has to go. He has to elevate the progressive pylon cam, showing that that's an incompletion. Came so close.
Hit out of bounds for the toe hit.
The toe, but his upper body's already down.
Yeah. It landed out before the toe got in, and so it's 3rd down.
Nothing but pride on the line right now, right?
Delay game.
No boy.
5-yard penalty. Down.
Rodgers flips it out in the flat there. Price barrels down inside the 5. They don't have a timeout here, so they'll have to try to hurry if they're going to dodge the shutout. Battle made the tackle.
Look where he puts the ball out in front. Beautifully laid in front of his running back, let him keep his momentum going towards the goal line.
From the 4, Rodgers scans, fires across the middle, incomplete. Malachi Moore is a flag down.
Yeah, the right arm hooked the receiver. So often for these defensive backs, they get the left hand. You see how frustrated he is.
Defense, number 13. Our rule of the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line.
You think he wants to shut out?
But again, the left hand is clean. It's the right hand that grabs a hold of the hip. See the right hip? That's what they called.
And that's certainly enough to keep a guy from leaving his feet and extending. Ball placed to the 2, first down. Slant, caught, short. Thomas is stopped short, and they can't stop the clock. They're going to have to get up and run a frantic play.
Oh, this is incredible. I love, especially you think about Alabama's defense last week.
4-3, this is going to be the last play. Can they get points in Tuscaloosa? Yes. Marks walks in at 0-0, and they dodge the shutout. And the crowd booing the pass interference call in the end zone, and Nick won't be pleased about that. Well, it took a couple of trips over here, and it took the full 60 minutes before State was able to score its first touchdown in 8 years in this place. And that'll be it. The officials are headed off the field, and there won't even be a PAT.
Something interesting there near the end, Chris, just that, I don't know if it's worth showing, but Helms, who's had a big night, getting into a discussion, pretty interesting discussion there with Robinson, who's a backup, who's the handshake. Look at the energy that Helms is playing with. He's frustrated. I mean, this is 30-0 game, and he's trying to talk to the young defensive back about his assignment. Everybody getting on the same page. Stay tuned for Baton Rouge in a couple weeks.
So 30-6 is the final. Another nice night for Bryce Young, playing hurt tonight, but not showing it. Holly?
Well, Coach Saban, so many areas that you wanted to get redemption in, from defense to your kicker. What was the response from your group?
Well, you know, it's a great win for us. You know, we needed to answer the bell today. I thought the guys did that. They competed well in the game. Wasn't always perfect, but you know, I like the sort of mindset that we had and how we went about it, how we competed in the game. So really pleased with the way the defense played today, and too bad they scored on the last play, but you know, we need to be able to take the air out of it on offense too.
Bryce Young and you having a great conversation towards the end of the game. What is your relationship like with him? Just looked like a really neat conversation.
Well, you know, Bryce is a great person, really good leader on the team. Really respects, you know, coaches, and I just can't say enough good things about the guy. You know, maybe we can get him back to where he can practice some and we'll be all right.
Yeah, but I don't know how he's going to improve. He's looking pretty good. Thank you, Coach. Nice to see a smile on your face. Thank you. Well, Bryce, he says you need to get back to work in practice. I know he's having fun with you, but you guys were having a cool conversation towards the end of the game. What is the communication like? What are you guys talking about over there?
Did you ask him that?
I did, and he wouldn't tell me, so I'm trying you.
See, I couldn't. I was gonna say whatever he said. That's what we were talking about. So.
What are you guys trying to communicate in a game like this, trying to respond to the first loss of the season, which your team did?
Yeah, you know, it's obviously tough, but it was big for us to try to turn the page, and then, you know, we cut on the film. It's on us to try to improve. So, you know, as I think the defense played tremendously, played lights out all game. As an offense, had some good moments. You know, we hit a little bit of a lull, especially in the second half. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna clean that up, and watch and see what we can learn from that. But you know, it's just making sure that we're trying to keep moving the right direction, building, and that's our goal.
Kirk Herbstreit did a long evaluation tonight of you as Steph Curry. What do you like about that comparison? I know you got to meet Steph.
That's my favorite athlete. So I appreciate that, Curry. That's the best comparison I could get. So it's an honor. But again, I can't do any of that without my teammates, without the coaches putting me in good position. So and there's a lot that I need to improve on, and I had to play better today. So it's about looking at the film, seeing what I can improve on, and trying to keep improving.
Thank you so much, Bryce.
Sure, thank you.
You like that comparison. Who wouldn't like to be compared to Steph Curry?
Yeah, and again, not just his game, but the way he just talked to Holly. Don't they remind you of one another in their poise and on the field, poise in the way they communicate with us in the media? So just who knows what's in front of him the rest of this year and then, of course, down the road.
There's some swag for both of them, but not in a showboat kind of way.
No, not at all. And the big thing is the poise under pressure. When the lights are the brightest is typically when they play their best and stay just calm. Not everybody has that ability, and those two certainly have it.
Well, early on, State had the football, and they ended up tonight running 23 more plays than Alabama. Actually outgained the Crimson Tide by 3 yards. That didn't mean a lot, as Alabama was way, way more efficient.
Early in the game, you and I would go to a break, and we thought, wow, Mississippi State's put together a heck of a plan offensively. They're just unable to punch it in, get any points, and Bama took advantage of the few chances they had early and just ran away with it.
Talked about the bye week, and then a couple of tough assignments for Alabama. Divisional rivals. They go to Baton Rouge. Then they play Ole Miss on the road as well. Just Austin Peay is the virtual bye in the SEC, and then the Iron Bowl. So the stretch run comes into focus. Alabama in must-win mode, right? Can't afford another loss if they're going to make that playoff. They take care of business tonight. Bill Bonnell produced it. D-Mob directed. For our entire crew here in Tuscaloosa saying so long. Let's go to Dave Fleming now.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
It was not a good week around this Cal program.